to Europe suffered steep losses overnight. We're also getting some sobering assessments from corporate America. In a letter to shareholders this morning, the CEO of JP Morgan Chase writes, quote, whether or not the menu of tariffs causes a recession remains in question, but it will slow down our growth. Well, Perry Russum reports American shoppers are bracing for the tariffs' impacts.
Analysts say Americans could see higher prices on some goods in a week to 10 days. Shoppers were seen over the weekend at stores like Costco buying in bulk, hoping to beat any rising prices.
The tariffs are also affecting high-end products. Jaguar and Land Rover, they are pausing shipments to the U.S. because of that tariff on imported cars.
One industry group warns about 97% of clothes and shoes bought in the U.S. are imported. Walmart, The Gap, Lululemon, and Nike, just some of the companies with a majority of their clothing made in Asian countries. On the WSB Energy Watch, Georgia gas prices are on the rise. They are now at $3.04 a gallon for regular unleaded.
That's 10 cents higher than last week and 12 cents higher than a month ago. Nationally, there was also a 10-cent spike to $3.25 as manufacturers switched to a more expensive blend ahead of the summer. But while a slight increase is expected, AAA experts warn new tariffs could mean even higher gas prices in the future. Sydney Darden, 95.5 WSB.
Less than half an hour to go now until the opening on Wall Street. It is 9:02. Sentencing is expected today in a New York federal court for a Kenyan national who planned a terror attack in Atlanta.
Federal prosecutors say Kolo Abdi Abdullah faces life in prison for 6 terrorism conspiracy convictions, coming terrifyingly close to creating another 9/11. Abdullah joined the al-Qaeda-linked terrorist group Al-Shabaab, learned explosives, took flight lessons, and studied how to get pilot jobs or hijack a plane. His goal? To fly into Atlanta's tallest building, specifically the 55-story Bank of America Plaza. The government says Abdullah was inches away from getting his commercial pilot's license and completing his murderous goal. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
The Jonesboro City Council meets tonight for the first time after losing its accounting firm and finance director. The Fulton and Kozak firm ends its contract with the city, saying it's lost confidence in the city's management. That's as the city loses its third finance manager in less than 3 years. They've also gone through 3 city managers in that same time frame. Mayor Danya Sartor also recently resigned and then quickly reversed that decision. Well, happening today, the Los Angeles Dodgers will visit President Trump at the White House, where they will be honored for the 2024 World Series championship. Joe Yasharov, a sports journalism professor at the University of Maryland, describes what to expect.
You give the president a jersey with the number of which president he is, and then the president gives a speech, and it's just a fun day when you can further celebrate your championship.
And shortstop Mookie Betts will attend the ceremony. As a member of the Boston Red Sox, though, Betts previously skipped that White House visit when Trump was president back in 2019, honoring Boston's 2018 world title. It's 9:04. The Mark Arum Show begins in less than 2 minutes. First, though, time for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Triple team traffic right now with Smiling Mark McKay.
Hi, Cheryl. It is morning long. A drama on the east side perimeter after a MARTA bus left the roadway. They've brought it back onto the shoulder now. And now the right lane remains blocked. 285 southbound at Glenwood Road, exit 44. So flashing light activity is keeping things slow on the inner loop back toward Memorial Drive. Got a right lane still knocked out south of I-20 on 285 south before Flat Shoals exit 48. That's having an impact on I-20 west. Delays back toward Panola Road. The west side perimeter recovering in both the inner and the outer loop. Crash on the shoulder on both sides of the roadway, 285 north and southbound. Northbound at Bolton Road and southbound at South Cobb Drive, exit 15. Getting some relief now into downtown Atlanta. Ashley Fresca.
A little bit, but still crowded, beginning at University Avenue, making your way 7585 northbound up to Peachtree, Pine Street, getting a little more crowded through Midtown now, passing Georgia Tech on the connector south, and delays out of DeKalb, Fulton County up on 85 south, begin down from Cheshire Bridge, Lenox. Triple team traffic, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Headed to the mid-60s today, clearing late, mostly sunny tomorrow, low 44, high 61.
And right now, Marietta 62 degrees. You're at 67 in McDonough, 63 in Noonan. We'll have more news at 9:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Yikes. Thoughts and prayers you've been having to deal with this morning's rush hour and the horrible weather. Welcome, friends. Mark Arum and crew with you till noon. Going to monitor that forecast and the impact here in Metro Atlanta and the impact it could have on the Masters. That's right. The Masters begins this week. Despite the inclement weather, the gates at Augusta National open today at 8 a.m. So you're there for the practice rounds. I don't know how big of a deal it is to go witness the practice rounds, but apparently they are on. But the Masters, I don't know if they consulted with Christina Edwards on this. They just posted on Twitter, X, a weather forecast for Augusta National. So if you're heading out there, I don't even know if the golfer is going to want to play in the rain. It's, unlike the priest in Caddyshack who went out and shot the best round of his life in the thunderstorm. 9 a.m. in Augusta, 80% chance for rain in a few storms. 11 a.m., 90% chance of rain and scattered storms. 90% at 1 p.m., at 3 p.m. Anyway, the Augusta Masters Week kicking off in less than spectacular weather fashion. So if you are heading out there, I don't know, bring a poncho. Maybe just go inside, run in, and grab a couple of egg salad and pimento cheese sandwiches, then head back to your car. But I just want to give a heads up because I know it's such a big deal. I used to poo-poo the Masters, Deborah. I didn't really get it until I moved down here. Even though my dad is a huge golf fan, I was like, well, what's the big deal? And then I went, and I was like, oh, I get it now. I get it. So obviously this is, as we approach Easter, April's a very holy month. You had Ramadan that just wrapped up and Passover coming up. But, Augusta National fans, the Masters fans, that's a religious experience for them. So I apologize in my ignorant youth. I used to poo-poo on everyone getting all psyched about the Masters, but I know it's a big deal. Speaking of Masters, Deborah, what's the deal with Masters tickets if someone wants to get some today?
If you're hoping to buy Masters tickets on a resale site, it's not going to happen. The Masters keep those suckers locked up pretty tight. They are the only authorized seller, and any resale ticket could be voided. Now, this year's tickets are already sold out, so you're out of luck. But you can sign up to get on next year's list. You have to create an account and apply. And if you're selected, you'll be able to purchase those tickets in July.
Interesting. The only time I went years ago. I took my dad to the Masters. He had never been. He's a huge golf fan. And I bought the tickets through a third-party seller. There used to, where Peachtree and Roswell Road split off in Buckhead there? If you're going north on Peachtree and Roswell Road breaks to the left, on the left side there, on like the top building, the same building that the theater's in, there used to be like a ticket broker there. And I went and paid an exorbitant amount to get passes for me and my dad. I think it was a Wednesday. It wasn't even like the legitimate Masters Day. But I don't know if that's allowed anymore. If according to Deborah, that you can't buy them.
Who sells tickets anymore? I think
don't know.
Everything is digital.
Are there no such thing as ticket brokers?
I can't remember the last time I had physical tickets to something.
Yeah, interesting. All right, anyway, good luck. I am not going to the Masters this week. I'm available, though, if anyone wants. If you are like, the weather, I can't go, I'll go. I'll take the show off. Shelley will fill in, and I'll go. Speaking of shows, John Decker is going to join us in the White House in just a couple of minutes. Obviously, monitoring the stock markets. The Dow futures are down, but they're down less severe than they were 5 hours ago. So maybe that is some good news when it comes to the markets in reaction to the tariffs. John Decker is going to join us in the White House in just a couple of minutes. The Asian markets, though, they had their biggest loss. The Nikkei, they lost 7.8%. The biggest loss since 1997. The Hang Seng Index dropped 13%, and the Asian Dow was down almost 10%. I mean, those are monumental drops. Hopefully, we don't see anything like that when the markets open at 9:35. But again, we will monitor them for you. Big news when it comes to the first international leader that might be asking President Trump for tariff relief is Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. He is set to have a phone call today. I would imagine they Zoom. I don't think it's just a straight phone call at this point. They're gonna talk today, though. The Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and President Trump at 9:35. We're going to go live to Jerusalem. Linda Gradstein is going to join us with an update and a preview there, and everything that's related to the Israel-Hamas war. Eric Erickson joins us live at 10:35, and then off the top rope, out of nowhere, Deborah Green booked music country superstar Maren Morris today on the show. I don't know how you did it, Deborah. This was a last minute, like, hey, Maren called, wants to be on the Mark Arum show. So kudos to you for getting that done. That's huge.
Yeah, I think she's a fan of the show. I think she was in town listening, and she's like, oh, I really want to be on that show. So we made it happen.
Yes, and I will not ask Maren Morris about tariffs. So we're going to have some lighter stuff today as well. And obviously, Christina is going to monitor what's going on with the severe weather threat here in Metro Atlanta, and obviously constant updates on the ride around town. All right, let's head up to D.C. Number one news story continues to be the markets and the reaction to tariffs. Joining us live, White House correspondent John Decca. John, good morning, my friend.
Hey, good morning to you, Mark. That's right. We're following financial markets due to open up very shortly. We're following the president as well. He's got two events on his schedule in which we'll see him. One, a light event welcoming the world champion Los Angeles Dodgers to the White House. That won't be in the morning. But then in the afternoon, he'll be meeting with Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu. Normally, a conversation between the president and the Israeli Prime Minister would focus on security issues. That certainly will be discussed, no doubt about it. But also on the table is a discussion about trade tariffs because Israel hit with 17% trade tariffs with the president's announcement last week.
Yeah, as I mentioned just before you got on with us, that the prime minister of Israel is going to be the first foreign leader that might try to negotiate a better tariff deal. Speaking of tariffs, President Trump active on social media this weekend, John. It seems like he is all in, not budging, that these tariffs are here to stay.
Well, that's right. That's what he said and indicated over the weekend on the flight back from South Florida to Washington, D.C. You know, it's interesting that the president has imposed trade tariffs on some countries in which the U.S. actually has a trade surplus. And Israel is certainly an example of that. The U.S. has a huge trade surplus with Israel. The U.S. has a huge trade surplus with Great Britain and Australia. But each of those countries facing these trade tariffs, if the president is focused on reducing the trade imbalance that it has, the trade deficit that it has overall, which is $1 trillion, you would think that you would focus on countries in which the U.S. has a huge trade imbalance, like China and like the European Union. In fact, what the president has done is he's imposed trade tariffs on every one of our trading partners, regardless of where we stand as it relates to trade with that country.
I did notice, John, that you know, when the tariffs were announced the other day and the White House put out the set of graphics, that Russia was notably not on the list of tariffed nations. Did you get a chance to, or did any reporter get a chance to ask the president or his administration why Russia is not on the tariff list?
Well, yeah, Ukraine's on the list, but not Russia. You know, that's pretty interesting. I guess simply the simple reason, the simple explanation is that the U.S. does not have much trade with Russia, given the economic sanctions that are in place between the U.S. and Russia right now. But that certainly caught my attention as well. You know, when I was in the Rose Garden last week and they gave us a handout of all the countries, and it was interesting, the handout. They weren't listed. Those countries were not listed in alphabetical order. They weren't listed in terms of the amount of trade tariffs that each country would be hit with. So I don't know how they came up with the list being presented in the manner that it was. But China, its financial markets, huge decline today. And it wasn't just China. Every Asian market was down. Every European market was down. And that's why we are expecting another down day on Wall Street today.
Gritting our teeth for sure when the opening bell rings. White House correspondent John Decker joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. I don't have to tell you, John, you covered both of the Trump candidacies and the presidencies. He's usually had enormous Republican support, no matter what befalls him or what happens during his presidency. But now, you know, maybe the tariffs and the dip in the stock market are a bridge too far. Hearing that Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell is co-sponsoring a bill with Republican Senator Chuck Grassley to limit a president's authority to impose these tariffs unilaterally. What's your take on that? A bipartisan bill, and do you think there's any chance that congressional leaders are going to step up and limit the president's power when it comes to tariffs?
I don't, because you need to move that bill, even though it shows that it has bipartisan support in the U.S. Senate. You need to move that bill through the House of Representatives. And I have not seen any indication that Republicans are going to rebuff President Trump in the House of Representatives on any issue, even on this issue. That being said, we know that this is impacting Americans, and as it relates to retirement accounts, as it relates to college savings funds. All of that is being impacted by these huge declines that we're seeing in the financial markets.
Interesting. Final question for you, John. It's been said by advisors and spokespeople for President Trump that on the lead up to Liberation Wednesday, that the threat of tariffs was a negotiating tool, right? This was a way for President Trump to get what he wants from other nations, whether it be a trade deficit or we're seeing tariffs. But it seems like that may be not 100% the case as these tariffs go into effect. The president seems to be doubling down and saying, no, maybe we'll negotiate, but this is the way I want the world to look moving forward now.
Well, that's what the president says, not backing down in any way. You have some supporters of the president, Wall Street titans like Jamie Dimon, who runs Citigroup, and Bill Ackman, who is a big supporter of the president, who runs a huge hedge fund, urging the president to reverse himself or at least put these tariffs on pause. I've seen the president, in instances over the course of his time in office, certainly his first term, where he did reverse himself, and he's no problem doing that. But this particular issue is one that is near and dear to President Trump. He's spoken about tariffs and pursuing a trade tariffs policy even before he was president. This goes back to his time as a private citizen. So I think it will take a lot for the president to reverse himself just days into this tariffs policy.
Are you going to be at the White House when the Dodgers come?
I will be at the White House. Absolutely. Yes.
Will you tell Freddie Freeman and all of his friends at WSB Radio in Atlanta, miss him and wish him well?
I will do that.
There
Absolutely. I'm sure he recognizes that, and he'll shake my hand with his World Series ring when he does that.
Long-time friend of the show is Freddie Freeman. All right, John, enjoy your day at the White House, my friend. As always, thanks for your time.
Thank you.
All right, there you go. Yeah, Freddie Freeman. He's on the disabled list, by the way. But Mookie Betts will go to the White House and meet President Trump. Did not do it the last time that President Trump was in office. All right, we're going to obviously monitor the markets, the reaction to tariffs throughout the day here on 95.5 WSP. And with the inclement weather, we're going to keep a close eye on the roads. Let's do that now. Live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Mike Shields.
And Mark, it's been messy out there, including on 285 southbound, the interloop into Cobb County, where we've had multiple crashes. Let's start off with one at Glenwood Road, exit 44, where a passenger bus went off the roadway. They fished that bus back onto I-285, and all the activity now on the right shoulder of 285 southbound at Glenwood Road. But just past that, long-standing crash in a right lane just south of I-20, just adding to the delays as you leave Highway 78. This report is brought to you by VyStar Credit Union. No matter where life takes you, VyStar Credit Union is there with banking for every moment, big and small, and they get you back to Greater Atlanta because they truly care. VyStar Credit Union, do good, bank better. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
The morning rush hour, the evening rush hour, and everything in between.
Slow spots are starting to build up the east side perimeter on 285 north.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic
We've
Center.
had several breakdowns, including one in the express lane.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
I know we just started at spring, but already Maya and I have turned on the AC in our house a couple of times. Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my pals at Reliable Heating and Air. We are going to use our AC a lot this summer. I'm sure you will as well. Great new deal from my friends at Reliable. Check this out, folks. Get any size air conditioning, any size AC, just $69.99 a month. Zero down payment, low monthly payments, unbeatable lifetime warranty, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Yes, any size AC, just $69.99 a month, zero down, low monthly payments. Don't go into another sweltering summer with your old AC unit. Get a new one from my friends at Reliable. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the Schedule Service button, or call or text 770-594-9969, 770-594-9969.
There's a lot on the line in a divorce. Your home, savings, maybe even your kids. So when you find yourself facing divorce and the unexpected directions it can take, you need a partner you can count on. I'm Rick Julius, a partner at Cordell & Cordell. Don't let divorce take more than it has to.
Schedule an appointment with one of Cordell & Cordell's Atlanta area attorneys. 404-793-0000. 1 Glen Lake Parkway Northeast, Suite 975, Atlanta, Georgia 30328. Joseph Cordell, Principal Partner. CordellCordell.com.
Attention men. Are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz, and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no, and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra, and we're disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS. Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start. Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems. We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau. You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798. Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. We can reawaken any space to make your happy place your home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Hey Atlanta, don't miss Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's huge spring break sale. For spring break only, you can take 50% off standard carpet cleaning. That's right, 50% off standard carpet cleaning. Just tell them Chris Chandler sent you. Get your carpets insanely clean for an insanely good price. Secure your 50% off deal before it's too late. Mention Chris Chandler when calling or schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, all they leave is clean.
China is, they say the market's spoken. The market, China is right now taking a big hit because everyone knows we're right. They have to pay tariffs.
President Trump on board Air Force One last night, heading back to the nation's capital. Eric Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35. He has not been shy about his opinions of the tariffs on social media. We'll pick his brain in a little over an hour. Real quick, everyone have a good weekend. I didn't even, Deborah, good weekend. Vinny, everyone know?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So Maya's out of town for spring break, so I'm by myself. And I don't know if you remember this, Deborah, but I've said that I will never mow another lawn again in my life, right?
Yes.
I had to do it growing up. The last lawn I mowed was in college, and I haven't mowed one since. So I've got this lawn service at the new house. It's an app where you download it. It's been great for the almost 2 years we've been at the new house. But the guy had to cancel. He's supposed to come last Thursday, and he had to cancel, and he's like, hey, you rescheduled me for April 12th. And I was like, well, the backyard's kind of looking a little shady already, buddy. I'm like, can you come earlier? And he just replied, yes. But I never got a thing. So the backyard where I take the dogs go out, and it started looking like a jungle. And I'm like, I can't do this. I can't. So you're not going to believe this. Sunday, I went to Home Depot on Lawrenceville Highway. And I bought one of those push lawnmowers.
Oh my gosh!
With no motor, like the old school
what?
one. Yeah.
What? Why would you do
that?
Like
the 1950s style?
Yes, because I didn't want to get a big lawnmower because I'm like, I don't want to mow lawns, but I have to do something. I got to for the dogs. I got to clear it for the dogs. So I'm like, let me just get and you know how much I hate mowing lawns, but I was like, for the pups, I'm going to do it. So it was like $100. Miraculously, I put it together by myself. Usually Maya's the person that puts stuff together. Took me like an hour to put this thing. Maya would have put it together in 3 minutes. Took me an hour. And I went out and mowed the backyard with a push mower. No engine, not an electrical one, just manpower. And you know what, Deborah?
What?
I enjoyed it.
Uh-oh.
I enjoyed it. My hatred of mowing lawns was a necessity. You know, my dad was like, "You are mowing the lawn today," and it was like a chore. It was a task, and I despised it. But there's something oddly satisfying about mowing a lawn. Like to see what it looked like before, and then I with just my grit and determination to clean it out for the dogs, I was like, it's a mental thing. I was like, oh, I hate mowing lawns. It's the worst thing ever. I'm never mowing a lawn again. I might start a lawn service now.
Okay.
Not like
I ain't going that
I want to
far.
see how mentally fantastic it is in July with 90% humidity and a bunch of mosquitoes.
And my hook is I don't even use gasoline. I'm good for the environment. I just got my little antique guy. I'm going to push it down. It reminds me of that movie, 1987, Can't Buy Me Love.
Oh, I love that
Patrick
movie.
Dempsey. He was raising money, mowing lawns to buy a telescope.
So have you saved up enough money? Yeah, $1,500. Yeah, I mowed 331 miles of grass this summer. That's $4.54 per mile.
The Ronald Miller story. My life on a mower.
How much is the microscope? Telescope? Oh, yeah. Now, it's $1,000, and it's on sale. And then I'm going to deposit the rest in a money market account.
Oh, don't do that.
Proud of you,
don't do that,
son.
Ronald
You
Miller.
worked,
the
you
markets are
earned,
tanking.
you
Don't do
saved.
that. So Ronald Miller, Patrick Dempsey, he had a riding mower. And he, mowed 330 lawns. I'm just got this push thing. It was a mental block. I'm going to mow the lawn now. I enjoyed it. It was oddly satisfying. None of you believe me. I'll post a picture.
You're an old man
I'm
now,
going to post
officially.
a picture of the lawnmower, my old man lawnmower, on my Instagram story if you want to go check it out now, at Mark Arum. News, weather, and traffic, 2 minutes, then live to Jerusalem. Next on the Mark Arum Show.
A word of caution for motorcycle riders. Remember, 18-wheelers have bigger blind spots, and it takes them longer to stop than a smaller vehicle. Eric Von Hassler here to remind you that if an 18-wheeler forces you to lay your bike down, you need to call in Steel Horse Law. Attorney George Stein is a motorcycle rider, and he understands bikers' needs. Get more info and request a free Rider's Advantage card at steelhorselaw.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. At $9.95, you get a quarter-carat pair of studs for free. $24.95, we'll give you half-carat studs. And at $99.95, you're going home with a full-carat pair of studs on us. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Good morning to you at 9:30. I'm Cheryl Castro. Our top story new this morning. The opening bell is sounding on Wall Street this morning. Reporter Mike Dubusky tells us markets could see a halt in trading at points throughout the week, depending on how bad things get.
If the S&P 500 drops 7% or more when markets first open, trading stops for 15 minutes. This circuit breaker kicks in again if markets then drop 13%. Trading shuts down for the day at 20%.
And right now we are seeing big plunges on Wall Street. Circuit breakers were triggered in Japanese, Taiwanese, and South Korean markets overnight. Well, rain continues to fall over much of Metro Atlanta, mostly to the south and east of us. Metro Atlanta remains under a flood watch through 8 o'clock tonight. The thunderstorm warnings and tornado warnings have all been canceled or expired. Glenn Polk with Spalding County Fire says his department is dealing with a number of power lines and trees down.
So we're out. We have our crews out in the area assessing the different damages.
Now, so far, no injuries are reported as the damage assessments continue across Metro Atlanta. Well, the rain is also impacting the start of Masters Week. If you are heading to Augusta for today's practice round at the Masters, be aware that the patron gates and parking lots are open, but they advise that it could be a shortened session as more heavy rain is anticipated later today in the Augusta area. A list of bills are now in the hands of Governor Kemp now that this year's legislative session has wrapped up.
All of the legislation approved by House and Senate lawmakers is now being reviewed by legal counsel in the governor's office. On Friday, Kemp telling reporters he's pleased with the work this year.
We've done a lot this legislative session.
Among the measures awaiting his signature is his top legislative priority, tort reform, and a bill on school safety. Kemp now has 40 days to sign or veto the bills. If he takes no action, the measures will automatically become law. From the state capitol, Jonathan O'Brien, 95.5 WSB.
New from overnight, Atlanta police are working to figure out just what led to a double shooting in the city's Bankhead neighborhood. A 28-year-old man and 31-year-old man were shot in the incident on Paynes Avenue off Donald Lee Hollowell Parkway. They were both taken to the hospital. Police have not released any details on a suspect or charges in this case. UConn is back on top of the women's college basketball world after dominating South Carolina in the NCAA title game. Focus now shifts to the men's title game tonight between Houston and Florida.
The Cougars are hoping third time's the charm after losing their two previous title game appearances back in 1983 and 1984.
Erica Herskowitz reports the two teams have only played each other twice back in the 1970s. A first-of-its-kind regional guide from the Michelin Guide will focus on Atlanta and the rest of the South. TV personality and Atlanta chef David Rose says the American South should highlight the South's excellent cuisine.
What grander way to do that than the Michelin Guide? So I'm looking forward to seeing it. I got a couple picks myself, and it's about time the South got the recognition it deserves.
And the restaurant selections will be announced later this year, and we'll take a check back on Wall Street, see how we're doing right now. Dow is down 1,200 points. That's off 3% already. S&P 500 losing 3.5%, and it's nearly a 4% drop for the NASDAQ. Now it is 9:33. It's time to check traffic and weather. Mike Shields live in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
Cheryl, good news. Crash now off to the right involves a bus. 285 southbound, the interloop at Glenwood Road, exit 44. South of that, long-standing crash just moved to the right shoulder. 285 southbound, past I-20 into Cobb County. And new crash impacting you getting to the airport on 285 northbound, the interloop ramp to Camp Creek Parkway, exit 2. Left side of that ramp is blocked getting onto Camp Creek Parkway eastbound. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Rain tapers off today, some clearing late. Today's high 65. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, low 44, high 61.
And right now, 61 degrees in Woodstock. Swanee, you're at 63, 64 degrees in Decatur. More news at 10 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Cheryl Castro, 95.5 WSB.
Everyone has an opinion.
We have become an idiotic nation that doesn't know how to even debate anything, so it doesn't surprise
Eric
me.
Von Hessler has an opinion.
You will still age.
And some advice.
Start doing things when you're younger. Drink a lot of water.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
And you will still die.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
What's going to happen with the market, I can't tell you, but I can tell you how
President Trump on Air Force One yesterday. He is set to speak to the Israeli Prime Minister. We go live to Jerusalem next on the Mark Arum Show.
At Mayo Clinic in Florida, we are conquering the unconquerable. Our experts are leading the way with innovative regenerative medicines and biotherapeutics that can repair diseased, injured, or defective tissues and organs to help treat people with chronic medical conditions. We're making more possible at Mayo Clinic because every day we're doing what's never been done. Learn more at mayoclinic.org/possible. Mayo Clinic, you know where to go.
Is your old AC unit ready for another sweltering Atlanta summer? Probably not. Hey, good news. Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable. Great new deal going on right now, guys. Any size AC, just $69.99 a month, 0 down, low monthly payments, and next day installation guaranteed, or they pay you $500. Any AC, just $69.99 a month. Book an appointment for a convenient time right on their website at reliableair.com and click on the schedule service button or call or text 770-594-9969.
Andrea Bocelli in concert. Saturday, October 11th, Gas South Arena with Atlanta Symphony Orchestra, conducted by Stephen Mercurio. The world's most romantic voice, Andrea Bocelli in concert. Purchase tickets at Ticketmaster.com or by calling 470-639-8243.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. Did you know the water pressure regulator is the heartbeat of every home? It can affect all things in your plumbing system, and when it's not regulated, it is the main cause of most plumbing problems. They only last about 8 years. Have Superior Plumbing check yours.
9:37 on this dreary Monday. Welcome back, friends. Mark Airman crew with you till noon. Happy 77th birthday, John Oates of the group Hall & Oates. Deborah, is that the guy I interviewed? Is he with the mustache?
Yes.
Oh, all right,
Team
the one
mustache,
I like.
yes,
Team
the one you
right.
like.
I haven't introduced Hall. I've never interviewed Hall, though, right? Just Oates?
Not that I know of, yeah.
Hall's banned from the Mark Aram Show.
What?
So,
No.
I like the guy with the mustache. Happy 77th birthday, John Oates of Hall & Oates. You don't need to play all Hall & Oates songs today, Longoria, but if you want to mix in a couple, we'd be happy to do that. Monitoring the markets and the news, not good thus far. Minutes into the open, Dow and S&P and NASDAQ all down about 4%. We are going to continue to cover the markets and the impact from tariffs. Eric Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35. And speaking of musicians, 11 o'clock hour, country music star Maren Morris is going to join us. Do we have tickets to give away, Deborah? By the way,
we have tickets to give away, but not to see Maren Morris. We have tickets to see Andrea Bocelli.
Oh, get out, really?
Yes.
That's a great date night ticket. Ooh, I'm not going to ask promotions again. 'Cause I asked once in 28 years, and I got declined for tickets. So I'll just buy the tickets, and I'll take Maya to see Andrea Bocelli. Right? Andrea Bocelli?
Andrea Bocelli.
Andrea Bocelli. We are going to go live to Jerusalem in just a second, checking the impacts of the tariffs there. And Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu apparently is set to speak with President Trump, the first world leader to speak to President Trump since Liberation Wednesday on what those tariffs might mean. Let's go live to Jerusalem right now. Our longtime friend, CBS News correspondent Linda Gradstein. Linda, how are you, my friend?
I'm fine. How are you, Mark?
Excellent. Good to hear your voice again. Big news today. Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu set to speak to President Trump. Any idea what that call will entail?
Well, it's actually in person. Netanyahu was in Hungary and flew from Hungary to Washington to meet President Trump for the second time since he took office, and as you said, the first time since Liberation Wednesday. And according to the Prime Minister's office, the two main issues are going to be tariffs and the future of the war in Gaza.
Interesting. So I did not know it's going to be an in-person visit. As far as the tariff reaction in Israel, obviously we've seen global reaction. Israel is actually one of the countries that actually has a trade deficit with the United States. So you would think that they wouldn't be subject to tariffs because that was the calculus that President Trump and his team came up with these tariffs. What's been the reaction to the tariffs in Israel?
Well, the reaction has been mostly from the sort of manufacturing sector here, which said that about 2,600 Israelis might lose their jobs. The tariffs for Israel are at 17%. But quite honestly, you know, Israel's dealing with so many other things right now including the ongoing war in Gaza, scandal in the prime minister's office, that the tariffs haven't been really a major issue here.
That's understandable for sure, but we'll see if the prime minister can negotiate better terms with President Trump when he meets him in person later today. Linda Gradstein joining us live in Jerusalem on the Mark Arum Show. A story that popped over the weekend, Linda. Israeli military changing what it's saying about the killing of 15 Palestinian medics last month after cell phone video was found of the incident. What do we know about the incident, and what's the IDF saying about it?
Well, this happened actually March 23rd, just right after Israel resumed its attacks in Gaza after a 2-month ceasefire. And again, exactly what happened still is not clear. Apparently, Israeli troops were waiting at a certain place in an ambush for Hamas, members of Hamas. They opened fire, and then after that, at some point, the ambulances drove up. Israel originally said that the ambulances were not marked and didn't have their lights on. The cell phone stuff that you mentioned shows that they did have their lights on. Israel opened fire on the ambulances, and 15 medics were killed. Now, Israel continues to say that at least 6 of them were members of Hamas, but hasn't given any evidence to show that. And then what happened after they were killed was that they were apparently buried in a mass grave. Israel says it did that so that their bodies wouldn't be eaten by animals. Other people say that they're trying to sort of cover it up. So what exactly happened is not clear, but it certainly caused a lot of international reaction and criticism of Israel.
You know, Lynn, I'm going back over my show notes from a couple of months ago and how optimistic I was in the middle of that first ceasefire deal between Israel and Hamas. That deal obviously lapsed. Second part of the ceasefire deal did not go into effect. And it just from where I'm sitting, it doesn't seem like that we are ever going to see another ceasefire or peace deal between Israel and Hamas at this point.
Well, you know, it's hard to say. There are still 59 Israeli hostages. Between 21 and 24 of them are still alive. And, you know, my heart just goes out to these parents. You know, I have kids that age, and I can't even imagine what's going on. I mean, the hostage families blame the prime minister and say that there could have been a deal a long time ago. This second phase of the ceasefire was meant to permanently end the war in Gaza, and the truth is that Israel has not completely destroyed Hamas as its original goals were. There seems to be no negotiations on any kind of a long-term plan for Gaza. Gaza is just completely in rubble, and since the ceasefire fell apart, Israel has not allowed any aid or medicine or anything else into Gaza, and United Nations and other international workers are talking about talking about possible starvation. Bakeries are closing. So the situation is, again, quickly getting critical during that 2 months of the ceasefire, when, first of all, Israeli hostages were being freed. We saw every few days or so, you know, these ceremonies that Hamas had and these Israeli hostages coming home, including quite a few American citizens being able, dual citizens coming back, a lot of aid getting into Gaza. There was kind of a sense on both sides that they could breathe. And, the majority on both sides, in both Israel and Gaza, according to polls, want a final end to the war. And it seems to be it's only the Israeli government that doesn't want that.
Unbelievable. I would just from sitting here again, and I talked about this last week, the hostage families, they have to be very pessimistic at this point that whether their family members are dead or alive, that they'll ever be returned to Israel at this point.
Yeah, I think they are growing increasingly frustrated and desperate, and knowing that in a few days ago, Hamas released signs of life from some of them who hadn't been heard from before, and so knowing that these people are there, and and that Israel is not getting them out when something like 70% of the public says that the first priority should be the hostages and not the destruction of Hamas, which a lot of people say was not really a viable goal to begin with. I mean, Hamas's, military capabilities have been very, very wounded. At the same point, at the same time, there were 10 rockets fired overnight from Gaza, so Hamas still has the capability to fire rockets, and it's hard to believe today, in fact, is the 18-month mark since the war began.
Unbelievable. Linda Gradstein in Jerusalem. Linda, so good to hear you again. Please stay safe, my friend.
Thank you, Mark. Take care.
And we'll obviously monitor the in-person meeting between Prime Minister Netanyahu and President Trump today. Obviously, they're going to talk about the hostages and I would imagine the tariffs as well. We're at 10 o'clock. We're going to go back to D.C. and talk to Stephen Portnoy on the latest on the Venezuelan migrant plane case that's in the courts. But, Deborah, you've got an update on that regarding the tattoos in this story.
Time to cover your tats. The DHS is said to have used tattoos to identify members of the gang Tren de Aragua, but some of the tattoos used for references are pretty general. The list includes birth dates, stars, crowns, clocks, trains, and there were even mentions of the Jumpman symbol, which basketball fans would associate with Michael Jordan, and letters in a thunderbolt, which music fans know from AC/DC. Now, there have been reports of people being wrongly identified as gang members and being arrested because of those tattoos. Experts say that most gangs don't use tattoos to signal memberships, and several documents warn officers don't rely solely on tattoos. I will be keeping mine covered.
Yeah, I would. I mean, gosh, a Jumpman tattoo. That's a Venezuelan gang tattoo of Michael Jordan Jumpman. That's interesting. I do not have a tattoo, and I will never get a tattoo. But I have a tattoo question, Deborah. It occurred to me the other day. Is there a certain point, and I don't want you to reveal any of your tattoos or Longoria reveal any of your tattoos, but is there come a point where you get too old to get a tattoo? Because as you get older, right, your skin it's different. Your skin changes, and you know when is it 80? You know, you think of an 80-year-old person's skin. Is that prohibitive to getting a tattoo at that point?
I don't know if you're too old. Like if you pay a tattoo artist, I'm sure you'll get it. But it is harder to do on skin that is not as elastic, I guess. You know, like if your skin is wrinkly, if your skin is thinner, it is harder to get a tattoo done on older skin.
I would imagine. I wonder. I mean, we've got a bunch of tattoo artists that listen to the show. If you want to hit me up on social media, if a 95-year-old guy comes in wanting a tattoo on his chest, do you turn him away and be like, I can't do it, man? Like it's an artist, right? The artist, has to approve the canvas that they're working on.
Most good tattoo artists will work with the person saying it won't work here, or maybe try this instead, or come up with a different piece. There are some people out there that, you give them enough cash and they'll do it.
I don't know.
What about your Subway back piece that you were going to get for free Subway for life?
I'll make an exception if it involves free food for life.
What if it's an Olive Garden pasta pass on your back?
Oh, don't get me started, Deborah Green. Don't get me started. All right, I was just curious. Any tattoo artists want to hit me up on socials at Mark Arum. By the way, I posted a picture of my new lawnmower on Instagram and Twitter at Mark Arum, MarkArum, lest you doubt me and my lawn mowing skills. Let's check the ride around town. Back to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center, Mike Shields.
Crash impacting New Mark trying to get to the airport on 285 northbound. The inner loop ramp to Camp Creek Parkway eastbound. That left side of the ramp is blocked. At times, the ramp completely blocked, so be aware of that as you try to make your way to the domestic terminal. Still have flashing lights on the right shoulder on the east side perimeter. 285 southbound. The inner loop, you pass Glenwood Road. This support is brought by Georgia Commute Options. With Georgia Commute Options, you can get more out of every mile, earn prizes, gift cards, and other cool deals when you switch from driving alone to a cleaner trip. More at mygco.com. I'm Mike Shields, 95.5 WSB.
All the notifications you need.
The story developing in Marietta.
All the local and breaking news alerts you need.
We're following breaking news in Atlanta.
All in one place.
The 95.5 WSB app.
Download it today.
Your roof has been impacted. Heavy rain, strong winds, damaging storms. Home Fix It show host Dave Baker here. I recommend you get a free roof analysis from my award-winning roofer, Findlay Roofing. No obligation, no charge. FindlayRoofing.com.
Roof. The Scott Antique Markets is back at the Atlanta Expo Center, featuring hundreds of vendors with collectibles and merchandise from all over the world. We're on both sides of I-285, exit 55 on Jonesboro Road. Visit ScottAntiqueMarket.com for more information.
Can you take the power of your home internet almost anywhere? With Xfinity, you can. Hey, it's Mark Arum here. Xfinity built a network that's 99.99% reliable. Plus, Xfinity Mobile has Wi-Fi Power Boost, giving you ultra-fast Wi-Fi at home and on the go. Whatever you're into, you'll love how fast you can do it with Xfinity Internet and mobile together. Now through April 17th, get 300 megabit Xfinity Internet and one unlimited mobile line together for $30 a month for 1 year with no annual contract. And save $1,000 in your first year over Verizon and AT&T. Plus, ask how to get a free premium 5G phone. Visit Xfinity.com, call 1-800-XFINITY, or visit a store today. Requires paperless billing and autopay with stored bank account. Restrictions apply. Equipment taxes, fees extra after promo. Regular rates apply. Actual speeds vary. Savings compared to Verizon 5G Internet plus one unlimited mobile welcome line and AT&T Internet 300 plus one unlimited starter SL line. Xfinity Internet required. Reduced speeds after 30 gigabits of usage per line. Data thresholds and actual savings vary.
It's still the greatest form of advertising, word of mouth. If we could bottle it and sell it, we'd be rich. But we can't. That's what keeps it honest. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons. From garage doors to entry doors to windows, for every opening of your home, we've got you covered. Talk to your neighbors. Chances are we've worked on their home. They'll tell you all about their 5-star experience with All Four Seasons. When trust matters, trust us. All, the number 4, seasonsgarages.com.
Multiple contractors and estimates for your home projects? What a hassle. Instead, trust the Plus. Painting Plus.
Hi, I'm Charlie, owner of Painting Plus and the Plus family of businesses. We're reliable, fully licensed, and insured. No muss, no fuss. Trust the Plus and leave everything on your list to us.
If your home's exterior has it, the Plus can improve it. Painting Plus. Siding, gutters, windows, decks, porches, roofing, and more. Trust the Plus. PaintingPlus.com.
At Ameris Bank, we're invested in the success of your business. Our local bankers are ready to help you improve your cash flow, optimize your operating accounts, and access financing when you need it. From treasury services and digital banking to loans and lines of credit, we offer tailored solutions to help your business thrive. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. Visit amerisbank.com/withyourbusiness or walk into one of our branches today to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval.
9:52 on this very dreary Monday. Hopefully will brighten your day. Maren Morris, country music star, is going to join us in the 11 o'clock hour. We're going to talk tariffs with Eric Erickson at 10:35 and obviously update our top local stories. WSB Market. I don't know if WSB wants to be associated with the market. I was gonna brand it the WSB Market Watch, Piccadilly Market Watch. Is there any company that wants to? Anyway, Dow's down 1,200 points, S&P 150, Nasdaq down 400. But that's actually better than it has been. I don't know, but the Dow. Remember on Friday, Deborah, I said, in my mind, I like round numbers. We all do, and I was like, we'll be fine as long as we don't dip below 40,000. Right? That was the line of demarcation for me. We're down to 37,000 now, so it's well below 40,000. We'll continue to monitor the markets and reaction to tariffs throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB. Asian markets were all down, huge, like record drops in the Asian markets. BBC's Mariko Oy has an update on what was going on.
Shares that are heavily affected include British banking giants HSBC and Standard Chartered Bank, as well as car makers in Asia, because of those latest tariffs affecting all imported cars into the United States. But no sector is spared.
Yeah, so the Asian markets got absolutely demolished. Even Australia's stock market fell. It fell to levels today that the BBC's Phil Mercer in Sydney describes as carnage, shrinking to more than 4% loss as the trading day came to an end.
A financial analyst was describing the situation as an absolute bloodbath, and the Australian Treasurer Jim Chalmers is blaming this global chaos on what he's called bad decisions around those tariffs introduced by the US President Donald Trump.
It's remarkable to me that this one policy change, right? That's basically what it is, a policy change by the president, not only impacting our markets, but every market. Truly global impact. Now, I don't know if it's comforting or angering or the fact that we're not on this ship alone, the slide. Does it make you feel better or worse that, oh, the rest of the world's dealing what we, you know what I'm saying? I guess it makes me feel better. It's like, imagine if it was just the U.S. market that was just plummeting, and it was like Asia broke record highs. You know, oh, the European markets have never been this hot. I don't know. We're all in the same ship. We're all in the same ship. This portion of the tariffs can impact me. I've long told you about the woes that I've had with my Jaguar. Rocco always takes care of it, but it's not his fault that my Jaguar has a problem every other day.
Mark, hold on to your Jag. Jaguar Land Rover will pause shipments to the U.S. due to that 25% tariff. The United States is the second biggest importer of British-made cars after the European Union, and it sells about 400,000 Range Rovers across the countries annually here. The U.S. accounts for almost a quarter of its sales. Britain says it is trying to work out a deal with the United States on those tariffs.
Full disclosure, I am not buying a new car. I had no intention. And if I do buy a new car, no offense, I'm not buying a Jaguar again. I love my car, but goodness, it gives me migraines when that check engine light comes on, where you're leaking. Oh, but my concern is, because, a Jaguar, they're not sending us new cars. That's fine. I'm not buying a new one. I'm worried about the parts for my car. Because I know I haven't had an issue with my car in 2 weeks, so I know in the next month something's going to break, because that's just the way it is. Is Rocco going to struggle to get a new part or a used part from my car? That's one of my concerns going forward. The fact that we're not getting any new Jaguar, that's not going to impact me at all. I'm not buying it. You folks can go ahead and buy a Jaguar. I'm not. I love my car. But, I'm out of that. I'm out of that market. All right, speaking of the markets, let's dip in. Dow's down 1,000, which is better than it was in the pre-market trading. So there might be a silver lining there. Coming up next after news, weather, and traffic, we got an update on, there was an update on the long and winding Venezuelan migrant flight story. We've been covering that in the news. We had a new development after we got off the air on Friday in the court system, and something the DOJ is now doing to remedy their defense of this. We'll go to Stephen Portnoy from ABC after the news, weather, and traffic. Social medias are active, including great picture of my new push lawnmower on my Instagram feed, at Mark Arum, MarkArum, and at WSB Radio.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Ask about 0% financing. That's FGA Roofing.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's news and talk.
It's the active season here in the ATL. Are you going to be active or inactive because of chronic joint pain? Hey, it's Mark Arum, back from my pals at QC Kinetics. I want you to know something. The medical pros at QC Kinetics right here in Atlanta are on the case and focused to finally get you the relief you need. With QC Kinetics, the science solid. They give you your life back without surgery, without drugs, and without any downtime. Get out and be active this summer. Golfing, swimming, tennis. Heck, pickleball seems to be picking up speed. Get out there and be active. Don't let your chronic joint pain hold you back. Curious if you'd be a candidate for these treatments? No problem. Consultation totally free, and they're happy to take a look and see if they can help you finally get relief. Call now and find out how easy it is to get back to enjoying life without chronic joint pain. Now, the best time to get started. Call QC Kinetics now, 770-285-8026. That's 770-285-8026 for QC Kinetics.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches, like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sail free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
Atlanta, take advantage of Zero Res Carpet Cleaning's huge spring break sale. For this spring break, you can take 50% off standard carpet cleaning. Mention me, Chris Chandler, when calling or schedule online at ZeroResAtlanta.com. Zero Res, all they leave is clean.
News,
weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 10 o'clock. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news is sponsored by Dr. Roof. What an exciting drive in this morning with the weather. A radar indicated tornado this morning on the south side around Henry and Spalding counties. It brought down trees and brought traffic in the area to a halt.
I'm sitting on the connector north, and the connector is completely stopped.
There are trees down. Some folks in Spalding County have no power this morning. Glenn Polk with Spalding County Fire telling me that there is one home that was damaged after a tree fell on it during the storm.
We have no report of any injuries. It was out on Woolman Lane.
And crews are out cleaning up those downed trees, and power crews are working to get all of the electricity back on. The airport was also impacted with flight delays and cancellations. Wait times have also been long at security at Atlanta's big airport. The storms have now passed, but this is the same system that did leave at least 20 people dead in the Midwest and the South before making its way here to Georgia this morning. Meteorologist Ginger Z now saying the danger is rising rivers and flooding.
The Ohio River, which is right now at the highest level in 7 years. What happens is rain falls, and then it takes time to get through those creeks and different waterways, and then it'll start to rise in some of the bigger rivers. Thankfully, the Mississippi was very low, so it had a lot of rise to go.
All right, so what can we expect here today? The rain should be ending this afternoon with a high of 65, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. He'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. A driver lands in jail after he was clocked driving at extremely high speed on a busy metro Atlanta interstate.
The Dunwoody Police Department says an 18-year-old driver, quote, learned a lesson this week. That's because an officer clocked that driver at 137 miles per hour on Interstate 285. That driver was arrested, with the agency saying speeds that high will send you straight to jail. And WSB's Austin Eller reports speed limits on 285 are typically between 55 and 65 miles an hour. Sentencing is later today in New York for the Kenyan man convicted of federal terrorism conspiracy charges for planning a terror attack here in Atlanta.
Prosecutors are seeking life in prison for Kolo Abdi Abdullah, saying he is still a danger to society. Abdullah joined the terror group Al-Shabaab and took flight lessons in the Philippines, studied airport security, and planned how to commandeer a jet with the goal of flying into an Atlanta skyscraper, the 55-story Bank of America Plaza. He told the FBI he chose Atlanta because it's a busy airport hub. He confided in his mother, who turned him in. Prosecutors say Abdullah was inches away from getting his commercial pilot's license and creating another 9/11. Veronica Waters, 95.5 WSB.
All right, now let's talk about what everybody's really thinking about today. Basketball. How's your bracket looking? Tonight's the night. The field of 68 has been whittled down to just 2 now. Tonight, Florida and Houston will face off in San Antonio for the right to be crowned kings of men's college basketball. CBS Sports contributor John Rothstein on what he's looking at tonight.
Can Florida match Houston's toughness? Houston under Kelvin Sampson has built the best culture in college basketball. Florida's front court needs to match the Cougars up front. That is the matchup to watch tonight in San Antonio.
And tip-off is at 8:50 tonight. President Trump's tariffs have been rocking Wall Street. Business analyst Jill Schlesinger on what they're doing to other countries.
What I think is important is we do have a global economy still. And so markets in these very high tariffed places like Vietnam, like Southeast Asia, like China, those economies are going to get hit hard with these tariffs.
All right, so let's take a look at Wall Street this morning. We're in the red, of course. The Dow down 863 at 37,451. So the Dow's down more than 2%. NASDAQ's down more than a full percent. And the S&P's down more than 2% here in the 10 o'clock hour. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Ashley Frasca in the 24-hour traffic center.
Good morning, Sabrina. The good news, 285 recovering well after this morning's storms. We had a MARTA bus go off the road hours ago, 285 south around Glenwood Road. All of that has been cleared on the inner loop. The outer loop's slow, though, in the same area, 285 northbound. A crash should be off to the side before Glenwood Road. And a tap of the brakes downtown on the connector northbound just before and after I-20. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Rain tapers off today. Some clearing late. Today's high 65. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, low 44, high 61.
63 degrees in Beaufort at 62 in Smyrna. Ackworth, you have 61 degrees right now. We'll have more news at 10:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Welcome back to the show and a good Monday morning to you. Mark Aram here, you there. It's 10:05, 5 minutes after 10 o'clock. This is the Mark Arum Show, live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to noon on 95.5 WSB. The whole family with us today. Deborah Green, the executive producer of the show. Longoria, the stoic Eskimo on the other side of the takeout window. Vinny Bag of Donuts screens your calls. Coming up in 30 minutes, Eric Erickson's going to join us live, picking his brain about the markets and the tariffs. 11 o'clock hour, country music star Maren Morris is going to join us, and Deborah's got tickets to see Andrea Bocelli. We'll be giving those away at 11:35. We're going to continue to monitor the markets. We're going to go up to the White House and get an update there. President Trump's reaction to the Dow dropping again. But first, joining us from the nation's capital, ABC News correspondent Stephen Portnoy. Stephen, good morning, my friend. As we got off the air Friday and into the weekend, developing story when it comes to that Venezuelan migration plane scuffle and court mix-up. The new information over the weekend after we got off the show, apparently the Department of Justice, in reaction to this, is making it a personnel change, I guess we'd call it.
This is really wild stuff. On Friday, in federal court in Maryland, an attorney for the Justice Department had real struggles answering the judge's questions about a man who was mistakenly sent to El Salvador in one of those deportation flights. The man is Kilmar Abrego Garcia. The government alleges he was a member of MS-13. His family denies that. The White House says he was involved in human trafficking. His family and attorney say they've seen no evidence of that. And the administration admits, well, you're right, Your Honor. We shouldn't have sent him to El Salvador because he was actually protected from deportation to El Salvador by a federal immigration judge. But setting that aside, because the attorney had such difficulty answering the judge's questions about this by saying such things as this, Your Honor, my answer to a lot of these questions is going to be frustrating, and I'm also frustrated that I have no answers for you on a lot of these questions. That attorney has now been placed on administrative leave, and his boss has also been put on leave for failing to supervise a subordinate. These two officials in the Justice Department, according to senior leadership, fail to zealously advocate for the government's interests in this case, and according to Attorney General Pam Bondi yesterday morning, should not have taken this case. I don't know how that works inside the Justice Department, where I guess you have the ability to volunteer for and decide not to take an assignment. Wouldn't we all love that in our jobs?
Yeah.
Suffice it to say that these two men have been sidelined, and it's this ongoing fight now between the judiciary and the executive branches over what's to be done with these migrants who have been deported.
It's interesting you said that, Stephen, because when the transcript came out between the judge and the lawyer for the Justice Department, it was really, I don't want to say he had his hand slapped a number of times by the judge, but I don't know if there's a better way to describe it. He didn't offer much in the way of evidence that the judge was looking for, but that falls on his shoulders, his boss's shoulders, or ultimately does it fall on Pam Bondi and the Justice Department's shoulders?
The government is trying to have it both ways here. The Trump administration does not want the judiciary peering into its conduct of deportations because it argues that it is a national security imperative to keep America safe, and it's squarely in the province of Article 2, the executive branch, for the president to conduct foreign policy affairs, and this is involved in that, and therefore, never mind, Your Honor, you're not to ask these questions. I would say that this Justice Department lawyer was a bit more deferential and simply said he didn't have the answers to her questions because he couldn't get those answers from his colleagues in the federal government. And when the judge asks such things as, why was this man taken off the streets? And the answer is humana, it's not a good look for the federal government in court.
I actually think
At
I saw
the
that.
appellate level.
I saw the humana on the transcript, by the way.
Right. I mean, look, and obviously it was a bit more polite in legalese, and you might say something like the attorney said, Your Honor, I would love to know myself, something along those lines. I'm paraphrasing. But the bottom line is there are questions that these attorneys for the government are being asked by judges that they simply cannot answer because they haven't been able to obtain those answers, or the decision's been made at levels, again, behind closed doors, I'm only speculating here, not to provide these answers to the Justice Department or its officials as they're arguing these points in court, because the administration's taken the position that it's not for judges to say.
Final quick question for you, Stephen. Where does this stand in the court system now?
Well, it's on a number of levels. You have a midnight deadline that's been put in place by a federal judge in Maryland to get this man back from El Salvador. Again, we're talking about a man named Kilmar Abrego Garcia, whose family says he had done nothing wrong, had been a victim of gang violence in El Salvador, fled here, went before an immigration judge, pleaded his argument for asylum, was not granted asylum, but the immigration judge judge at the time in 2019 said, here's what we're going to do. We will put an order in place that prevents you from being deported to your home country. You got to regularly check in, stay out of trouble. His lawyers and family say he did just that. But for reasons that are not known to the public, the federal ICE came in, swooped in last month, picked him up off the streets, and flew him to El Salvador. The court wants information as to why that happened. The Justice Department is not able to provide it, and now the attorney who was representing the Justice Department has now been put on leave, as well as his boss. The judge has put in place this midnight deadline. The government is now appealing that to the Fourth Circuit Appeals Court based in Richmond, Virginia, arguing that this is so far beyond the judge's reach. How dare the judge ask these questions and make this order? We can't bring the man back. He's now in the custody of his native country, and there's nothing we can do about it, nothing we should do about it. And we'll see how it all plays out, whether the Fourth Circuit Appeals Court will find that argument sympathetic or whether it will not and allow that deadline to go in place. And then there's a question of, well, what happens next if the government is seen as violating the judge's order? That's pending in the D.C. court here, the district court here, where there's this question about those flights that were going to El Salvador. You had a judge here in Washington say, you got to turn those flights around in midair. Something's up here. And the government thumbed its nose at the judge and said, well, Your Honor, the planes are already outside U.S. airspace. You have no jurisdiction. And they've landed in El Salvador. And we're going to send the Homeland Security Secretary down, and she's going to pose for pictures. But there's nothing we can do about it because they're now in the custody of a foreign government that we're paying.
Such an interesting story. Great breakdown, as always. Stephen Portnoy, ABC News. Thanks for your time, Stephen.
You bet.
It's pretty crazy looking at the transcripts. The judge taking the DOJ lawyers to task, and the lawyers were in I guess, a very tough spot because they didn't have answers to the judge's question. And it's interesting that the head of the Department of Justice, Ms. Bondi, has now basically suspended the two attorneys in that case without pay. I'm not a lawyer, I'm not a judge, but it didn't seem like any courtroom drama I've ever seen where the judge was asking them specific questions and the lawyer's like, I don't know. They obviously went in, I don't know, unprepared, or they just weren't getting the information they needed, but certainly an interesting situation. All right, Linda Gradstein joined us last half hour from Jerusalem. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu is going to meet with President Trump in just a little bit. This after the U.S. slapped a 17% tariff on Israel. Part of the conversation, we think, will be Prime Minister Netanyahu trying to negotiate a lower tariff number from the president, and obviously they're going to talk about the de-escalation of the peace talks and the increased escalation of the wartime activity between Israel and Hamas. So we're going to monitor that. Let's go up to the White House, though, as the markets continue to fall. CNN's Elena Train just moments ago outside of the White House with reaction from the White House to the market plummet.
Well, we have heard a tour, really, of different top economic advisors from this Trump administration out on television this morning, all of them really trying to say, don't panic, calm down. Even the president himself posted something similar this morning. He said to Americans, don't be weak, don't be stupid, don't be a panican, talking about a new party based on weak and stupid people, he said. But that's similar to what we heard, including from trade advisor Peter Navarro. He was on CNBC this morning, and he was saying, look, there are tax cuts potentially to come. That should maybe ease concerns. Listen to what he said.
That fine truth was the fact that the biggest tax cut in American history, the broadest base tax cut in American history, is coming within a matter of months. So any discussion of recession seems silly when you factor that in.
So all of this, really, we are hearing from top White House and administration officials is a little bit defensive in nature, trying to tell Americans just be patient here. Now, I will say there's two different things happening behind the scenes. One, and we heard some of this mixed messaging over the weekend, one is that the president is still very much committed to these tariffs. And long term, I think that's the key thing here. Yes, he is open to maybe having these conversations with different foreign leaders. He said he spoke with the Japanese prime minister this morning. Two White House officials confirmed to me that he did. But also, he still wants to break and reorder the global trading system. And in order to do that, we're not going to see a lot of these major deals happening anytime soon, I believe.
Elena Train just moments ago from CNN outside of the White House. While I was just playing that bit of audio from Elena Train, picked up some breaking news from Wall Street. Holy smokes.
Where is Hector?
I don't know what's going on, what happened in the last 4 minutes, but all of a sudden, I mentioned last half hour, the Dow was down 4%, NASDAQ was down 4%, they're all in the green now all of a sudden. What the heck just happened? The Dow now up 220 points. S&P up 72 points. NASDAQ up 354 points. What just happened in the last 4 minutes? Did investors say, all right, this is falling far enough. Let's try to buy and make a profit? I don't know. Did something just break that we missed? Unless the Market Watch, someone hacked into Market Watch. Like, stunning reversal on Wall Street. Good news there. Wow. All right, Dow's up now 200 points. NASDAQ up 376. I hope that's legit. I don't know what happened in the last couple of seconds, but apparently things are trending in the right direction. Did the president put something on social media? Vinny, check. You have a True Social account, Vinny. Check to see if President Trump just posted something on True Social, because the markets just did an about face. Good news. All right, I'm going to try to get down to the bottom of that. And Eric Erickson is going to join us live at 10:35. Hopefully the markets will still be in the green in 20 minutes when the conservative Viking joins us. Quick sports update. Braves were rained out yesterday against the Marlins. My hometown college, University of Connecticut, the women won the national basketball title. Congrats to the Lady Huskies. I had a chance to sweep the WSB radio brackets, but Duke lost. So now I have to root for a Florida win. If Florida wins the national title, I win the WSB radio bracket. So if you have a rooting interest or not, that would be good for me financially. The headline in baseball this year has been the torpedo bats. Have you heard about that, Longoria? It's instead of the regular baseball bat, they've changed it. And they've lowered the barrel down a little bit. Now, I wish I had this torpedo bat in Braves fantasy camp, because I would often get jammed and hit the ball not on the barrel but and on the handle, and it would hurt my hands and the ball wouldn't go far. Apparently, major leaguers also have that same problem. So they've come up with a new torpedo bat that moves the barrel down so you can hit the sweet spot a little bit better. And it's taking over. Like, it's crazy. And apparently this is good news for the manufacturer of the bats. Deborah, what can you tell us?
You can't watch an MLB game without hearing torpedo bat. And the craze means big boom for a business, Victus Sports. Now, they've spent the past 14 years designing and perfecting this torpedo bat. And the Yankees were the first to jump on it. And it's been in high demand ever since. They made like 12 bats last year, and they were kind of, just a prototype. This year, they're making over 600. The company is working overtime to keep up with that demand, and they can crank out a torpedo bat in about 20 minutes. If you want one, the cost is going to set you back about $200.
I'm definitely going to buy one for Braves fantasy camp next year. It makes sense, and it's legal. It's up to regulations. It's just they finally found a solution to a problem. Wall Street's found a solution to a problem. This is unbelievable. Dow's up 770 points, 2%. NASDAQ's up 660 points, 4%. Wow. I don't know what happened in the last couple of minutes, but Deborah's going to try to find out. After we check traffic, let's head to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center. And hello and good morning to Ashley Frasca, checking delays on the south side.
Hey there, Mark. Yeah, delays with a crash at the end of the ramp coming from Mount Zion Boulevard onto 75 northbound, fishing off a car that went on the shoulder there off into the grass, and could be a little bit of spring break traffic, just some volume through Stockbridge 75 south, trying to get below 675 to Jotico. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control. Lear Capital offering a free Sky High Silver Important Precious Metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
Eric Erickson.
I try even when I don't agree.
The opinions expressed are his.
To at least exercise some basic empathy.
And that's what makes you listen.
Coming in like a wrecking ball, taking it all out. It's fantastic.
Eric Erickson.
Today, starting at noon.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. You can with Orchard, because Orchard puts cash right into your pocket so you can buy your dream home. Then, your Orchard experts prepare and market your old home, including repairs, showings, even price-boosting upgrades. Hey, it's Eric Von Hessler, and here's why Orchard's the best. When your home sells for more, which happens 9 times out of 10, you get that cash too. It's almost like getting paid twice. That's why Orchard is the smarter, faster, hassle-free way to sell your home. Let's review. Orchard can unlock cash from your old home to use on your new home. That's payday number 1. You buy your new place, and once you're in, Orchard sells your old home for top dollar. You get that money too. Payday number 2, right there. Start with your free home valuation at Orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL. That's 1-844-421-SELL.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights. With thousands of 5-star reviews, you can trust us to bring happiness home. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell.
And I'm Monica Pearson. Dale and I have worked together for years, first at WSB, and today helping you find Georgia's best companies and sharing why they're the best.
Monica, one of the first companies I researched and recommended is AMCO Transmissions and Total Car Care. For more than a dozen years, they've consistently met my 7-point standard and honored my Make It Right guarantee. And I know you believe in AMCO just as much as I do.
Dale, over the years, we've both reported about people getting taken advantage of. So I'm keenly aware what it takes to deliver not just great performance, but great customer service. People who follow my advice literally stop me on the street and thank me for referring them to AMCO.
We all need mechanics we can trust for correct diagnosis, efficient repair, and fair price. Not just for transmission repair, but engines, brakes, check engine lights, and so much more. Call the locally owned AMCO near you.
And I know their nationwide warranty protects you everywhere.
That's AA.
MCO.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now. 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
When someone's AC is on the fritz, drains are clogged, or wall outlets are sparking, Castile Heating, Cooling, Plumbing, and Electrical never asks, how soon do you need it fixed? You know why? Because no one in recorded history has ever said, oh, take your time, just whenever you can get to it. We just assume how fast can you get here will always be the answer. So Castile will be there same day, and we won't leave until you're 100% satisfied. See? Sometimes it's good to assume. It gets your AC fixed fast. Book today at CastileAir.com.
All right, buckle up, Buttercup. Apparently, it's going to be an up and down day on Wall Street. 4 minutes ago, the Dow was up 500 points. Now it's down 500 points. I don't know. We're trying to figure out what caused it. I think it might be institutional traders, where if the Dow hits a certain point, that they automatically start buying. And then so it went up, and I don't know what's going on. But now they're all in the red again. But, who knows what's going on. Just don't log on to your ish. to your 401k, your IRA, your ish. Anyway, Eric Erickson's going to join us at 10:35. Get his take. He was not very happy with the tariff news over the weekend. We'll see how he feels today. Country music star Maren Moore is going to join us in the 11 o'clock hour. Can I talk to Ashley Frasca for a second in the traffic center? Ash, you there, buddy?
Yes.
All right. So I have a food story that I want to talk to you about. When I say a top U.S. casual dining restaurant, like a chain restaurant, what's your favorite chain fast casual kind of restaurant?
Ew.
Like you and John. Is it Chili's or Applebee's?
Chili's, yeah.
Chili's, okay. Apparently, America's favorite or top casual chain was Olive Garden, but it has just been unseated by Texas Roadhouse.
Because you can throw the peanuts on the floor.
Peanuts on the floor, right? So Roadhouse, Texas Roadhouse has replaced Olive Garden as America's top casual dining chain. The two chains followed by Chili's, Applebee's, and Buffalo Wild Wings. Olive Garden held the title since 2018, but a resurgence in Texas Roadhouse popularity has pushed the casual steakhouse ahead. Last year, Roadhouse reportedly saw a 14.7% increase in sales, pulling in $5.5 billion. Chili's and Longhorn saw a big boost in sales. I had Outback over the weekend. Maya's out of town, so I ordered Outback. Got a prime rib. It was absolutely delicious. Applebee's, Outback, Red Lobster, Red Robin saw a decrease in sales, with Red Lobster seeing the largest drop at 22%. It's all because of that never-ending shrimp platter, right? That's what did it. Anyway, I haven't been to Texas Roadhouse in a while. Vinny, see what the nearest Texas Roadhouse is to WSB Radio. Maybe I'll take the crew out for lunch after.
I don't know if you can throw the peanuts on the floor anymore. We went not too long ago to
one. They killed it during the pandemic?
No one was doing it, at least where we were at, you know.
Well, you went
to they had to stop.
Yeah. She said people were allergic to peanuts and they had to stop.
Yeah, there are peanut allergies.
There's a bucket of peanuts on the table. If you're allergic to peanuts, just don't go to Roadhouse. There's a bucket of peanuts on the table. All right, Fast Casual Frasca is going to update your traffic in just a second. Sabrina's monitoring the markets. It's up and down on Wall Street today, folks. Buckle up. When we come back, Eric Erickson's going to join us live. His take on the tariffs and everything political. That's straight ahead on The Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from my roofer, FGA Roofing. If your neighbor's designer roof has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing. And for a limited time, get $1,000 off your final quote if you mention you heard about it on the radio. Search FGA Roofing. That's FGA Roofing. And ask about 0% financing.
Need inspiration? Shop Kroger for mouth-watering meals and appetizing ingredients. Our low prices add up to big savings, plus over $600 in digital coupons each week, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. At Kroger, you always get big flavors and big savings. Kroger, fresh for everyone. Fuel restrictions apply.
Right now, 80% lean Kroger brand ground beef is on sale. 3-pound packages are $4.99 a pound with your card. Kroger, fresh for everyone.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
Hey folks, it's Belinda. You know the saying, April showers bring May flowers, but in my case, they brought unwanted pests. Just last week, I noticed the mosquitoes were taking over my backyard and the carpenter bees swarming my outdoor deck. I knew I needed help, so I called Arrow Exterminators. Ken, my Arrow team member, didn't just provide a solution. He gave me peace of mind with their Arrow Exterminators friendly and effective treatments. Arrow Exterminators has been a family-owned business for over 61 years, so they really treat you like part of the family. They even offer a 100% customer satisfaction guarantee. Plus, you can get a free home or business pest inspection to stay ahead of any pest problems. Thanks to Ken and Arrow Exterminators, my family can enjoy our backyard again. So don't wait for the pests to settle in. Take back your yard this spring. Call 888-GO-ARROW or visit arrowexterminators.com. And when you do, be sure to tell them Belinda sent you.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hi there. Good morning. It is 10:30. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by your Metro Atlanta Amco dealers. Hold on. The ride is a rocky one. That's why they call it the roller coaster ride. We're up, then we're down. We were in the green big time on Wall Street just a few moments ago, but we're back in the red. The Dow did turn positive in a massive reversal from steep losses following President Trump's tariffs. It's not clear why, but it could be a few things, one of which could be the expectation of further rate cuts from the Federal Reserve. President Trump says he is not backing down on his sweeping new tariffs. Matt Orton is the market strategist with Raymond James Investment Management. He says investors want to see tariff negotiations.
Very constructive case, at least in the near term, is going to be seeing some sort of progress with respect to negotiation. Because again, that was the original market assumption coming into this, was that this was going to be a negotiating tactic.
All right, and so the markets have been reacting. They were in the red big time at the open, and then we shot up quite a bit in all the markets, the Dow, S&P, NASDAQ, all in the green, but we're back in the red again. Not as bad as we had been, though. The Dow right now is down 802 at 37,512, so the Dow's down just over 2%, NASDAQ's down just over 1%, and the S&P's down 1.5% here in the 10 at 10:30. All right, we had some severe weather move through the south side this morning. You heard us telling you about it. A radar-indicated tornado around Henry and Spalding counties. The damage appears to have been minimal as folks are getting out and assessing it now. Some trees came down, power knocked out in some areas. Glenn Polk with the Spalding County Fire Department says this morning's storm should be a reminder for us.
Just always trying to stress people be prepared because you never know when something may happen. So preparedness is our best defense anytime.
And he points out that this is just the beginning of storm season for Metro Atlanta. The rain ends this afternoon with a high of 65, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. An 18-year-old driver is busted going 137 miles an hour on I-285 in Dunwoody. That teen driver was arrested and taken to jail. Speeds on 285 range anywhere from 55 to 65 miles an hour. The Jonesboro City Council meeting tonight for the first time after losing its accounting firm and finance director. The Fulton and Kozak firm ending its contract with the city, saying that it has lost confidence in the city's management. This as the city loses its third finance manager in less than 3 years. Now your health. 4 Virginia high school students have created an app to identify oral cancer. It uses a smartphone to take a picture of a person's mouth and then scans the image and produces information on whether or not there's a cancerous tumor inside. The app uses artificial intelligence and compares the person's picture to images of hundreds of others that are healthy or have benign or malignant tumors. The students say that they're working on getting FDA approval right now to get the app onto the App Store and Play Store. They also plan to make the app free for everyone. And tonight's the night. Will it be Houston or Florida to take home the men's college basketball title? Steve Kathan has more.
The University of Florida is gunning for its third NCAA basketball title. The school won back-to-back in 2006 and 2007. Coach Todd Golden knows the game is going to be tough.
Houston is an amazing team, and they deserve this opportunity. Obviously, they're going to have some great momentum, and for us, it allows us to add another, chip on our shoulder and, try to prove, that we belong.
Both teams sport 35-4 records. Houston's never taken the title. The Cougars upended Duke in the final seconds to make the championship game.
All right, it's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Ashley Frasca is in the WSB 24-hour traffic center. She has a look at your roads.
Thanks, Sabrina. A little bit of a slowdown on the south side, just merging madness on 75 south through Stockbridge below 675. Wrapping up a crash at the end of the entrance ramp, getting from Mount Zion Boulevard onto 75 northbound, and a little crowded through Kennesaw 75 north before and after Barrett Parkway. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Headed to the mid-60s today, clearing late. Mostly sunny tomorrow, low 44, high 61.
We have 62 degrees in Midtown Atlanta. More news at 11 o'clock. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
Nearly 1 year of gains in the past few weeks.
We've got it covered.
The NASDAQ is down more than 20% now from its record high in December.
With news at the top and bottom of every hour and when it breaks.
Two-day loss of nearly $6.5 trillion in market value.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
The assumption that a trade surplus or deficit is a problem in itself because
that's Robert Habeck,
end,
Germany's trade minister, as the tariffs continue to rock the markets. Eric Harrison joins us live in 2 minutes on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, it's Scott Slade with another big update from my friends at Myland. They've got a new mortgage available to those of you who own a rental home or investment property. This loan allows you to qualify based on the cash flow of the property. And that means you don't need to provide your income or employment like a traditional mortgage. It's special programs and industry knowledge like this that keep me talking about the abilities of my friends at Myland. Whether you're looking to buy a new home, refinance to lower your payment, or need to see how you can access the equity in your home to pay off other debts, do yourself a favor. Call my friends at Myland. Countless 5-star reviews and testimonials from homeowners just like you. Myland's been a top mortgage lender in Atlanta and a friend of mine for decades. Give Myland a call today. 770-817-2000. That's 770-817-2000. Online, it's myland.com. Spell it M-I-L-E-N-D. NMLS in Georgia residential mortgage licensee 148769. Located at 8995 West Side Parkway, Alpharetta, Georgia 30009. Myland is an equal housing lender.
Mom and Dad seem different after a European-style holiday on MSC Cruises.
Call us Cloud and Yvette.
The ship had restaurants, shops, and nightlife.
La Galleria.
And of course, American touches like an aqua park and a sweets shop.
American je ne sais quoi.
Mom, you're from Wisconsin.
Wisconsin, Kevin.
Book now and save up to 30% off, plus kids sale free. MSC Cruises. Let's holiday. To book, visit msccruises.com or contact your travel advisor. Restrictions apply. Ships registered in Panama and Malta.
An investment in your home is something that will pay off in the future, but it's something that you can enjoy right now. Hi, I'm Dan Watkins, owner of All Four Seasons Garage, Entry Doors, and Windows. A beautiful new garage door, entry doors, and windows are an investment you can love every day, and they will increase your home's value, energy efficiency, and curb appeal. All Four Seasons, trusted in Atlanta for over 25 years, exceptional customer service, and high-quality work. When trust matters, trust us. All the number 4 Seasons Garages.com.
Monica Pearson for Superior Plumbing. Are you a plumber but looking for a better work-life balance? Superior Plumbing is looking for a few good plumbers to join their team. They offer a stable career with great pay and benefits. More importantly, you can build your career with a trusted company.
10:37 on this roller coaster Monday edition of the Mark Arum Show. Been monitoring the markets, the pre-market activity, the post-market activity, and our crack staff has determined why we saw that quick turnaround from red to green in the markets. Let's update the breaking news on why we had that big swing.
Where is Hector?
So in the space of about 15 minutes, the S&P 500 flipped from a 4% loss to a 2% gain. It is now down back to a 2% loss. It looks like the catalyst of that movement into the green was a headline from CNBC, which quoted White House economic advisor Kevin Hassett as saying that President Trump is considering a 90-day pause on the imposition of tariffs on Asian countries minus China. Hazlitt earlier told Fox News that Trump was going to listen to the United States trading partners for great deals, but ultimately he's doubling down on something that he knows works. So this headline from CNBC that the president was considering a 90-day pause created that huge upswing, and then the White House would not confirm it, which is why we are now back in the red. All right, we got that cleared, I think. Joining us live on the show is Eric Erickson. Do you understand what I just said, Eric? Did I say it out?
Look, I got woken up early this morning by someone close to Trump saying he was actually considering this pause because of market reaction and people, his donors last night beating him up over the tariffs. And Hassett came out this morning. Navarro came out this morning and said, nope, no pause. And then this hit the wire that actually they are considering it. Well, not apparently.
Well, it was a head scratcher. I was like, it was dropping, and all of a sudden, boom, it went through the roof. I'm like, what just happened? And I checked the Truth Social post to see if the president posted something, but I couldn't find it. So apparently it was a CNBC headline. You mentioned that the president was catching heat from his donors. I hadn't heard that story before. What can you tell us?
Yeah, so, a lot of major donors to Trump are Wall Street tycoons and billionaires who backed him over Harris. They didn't actually think that he would do more than targeted tariffs at China. They're losing a lot of money. They've been beating him up over the weekend at Mar-a-Lago, and we're pushing him to consider a pause, at least with those countries that have reached out to negotiate. Now, the European Union was expected to do a trade war. They've instead come out this morning saying that they're willing to consider negotiation. This came about the time of the Kevin Hassett statement that there might be a 90-day pause. Well, now that's up in the air, and the market's crashing again.
But all right, so it's the more info we get, the more confused I am.
Yes, that's part of the problem.
Because President Trump, it was always the hope that the threat of tariffs was just a negotiation tool. But the president keeps doubling and tripling down, says, no, this is what we need to protect America for the future. I'm not backing down, but then maybe I'll negotiate. It's very confusing.
Yeah, and that's part of the problem here. The significant uncertainty is what's causing people to pull money out of the markets. They want some guidance. Are the tariffs going to be targeted, or are they going to be broad? If they're the broad 10%, you're going to see grocery prices, among other things, go up, because so much of what we depend on in this country as consumer staples actually come from abroad. Think of all the spices that we use in the country. We don't grow spices anywhere in the United States except Hawaii, and Hawaii not significantly, because cinnamon doesn't grow in this country. Peppers don't grow in this country, other than certain red peppers. We can't get black pepper. We can't get cinnamon. We can't get cumin. We can't get a lot of the stuff we need in just consumer staples. So all those prices go up a little bit as a result.
I was monitoring your Twitter X feed over the weekend. Really fascinating stuff. And the general takeaway I got is that you are not happy with this tariff implementation and what's been going on in the world markets. And you've been catching some fire on social media because of your take on the tariffs.
Look, it's the same with Democrats, who they circle the wagon around Biden on inflation wasn't a big deal. It wasn't his fault. The spending was good. Everything was transitory. You're getting the same thing from Republicans over Trump. But, I mean, when you're headed off the cliff, you're headed off the cliff. And the reason oil prices and bond yields are down right now is not because it's part of a master plan. It's because now everybody thinks we're headed into a recession, and this is going to tank the economy. I mean, Nike this morning in an analysis came out and said there's no way they can move their manufacturing to the United States because it's still cheaper to produce a shoe in Vietnam with a 40% tariff than it would be to produce the shoe in the United States. So you're going to get more expensive shoes, but not any more jobs.
Eric Erickson joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. You, of course, can hear Eric live noon to 3 on 95.5 WSB. Listen, Donald Trump's been in my life for 45 years, right? Growing up in the Northeast, he was in the headlines every day. He was on the TV every day. And he's generally been known as Teflon Don, especially in his political career from 2015 to 2025, from the escalator coming down to playing golf this weekend. He has had this massive amount of support by his loyalists. With the tariff news, with what the markets are doing, with the trillions lost, has he crossed the Rubicon for some of his supporters now?
A few, but not many.
Okay.
I think we're going to have to wait this out. Now, what I suspect is going to happen is his supporters are not going to abandon him any more than Joe Biden's core supporters abandoned him. It's the independents that you have to worry about, because the GOP can't win without the independents, and he's already lost them in the polling metrics we're seeing so far. We're seeing this also echo in the special elections, where the independents, if they're showing up, are voting Democrat. And again, they don't have to vote Democrat. They just don't have to show up. And that's going to help the Democrats next year. So Donald Trump is saying short-term pain for long-term gain. You can't get his long-term gain if the Republicans don't keep Congress.
There was talk that there was a bipartisan effort in Congress to maybe pass legislation that would limit the president's executive power when it comes to tariffing other nations. Is that going to have legs or no?
They're going to try it. Rand Paul in the Senate leading the way. You've got members in the House doing it. If they pass it, though, he could veto it, and they don't have the votes to override the veto.
Interesting. Can we talk local politics for a second?
Sure.
All right. We had Sine Die on over last week. Did we get resolution to an issue that I know is near and dear to your heart when it comes to the speed cameras near schools?
No, they will put it off until next year.
Really?
Yeah, they didn't get it back. So the Senate amended it. It went back to the House. They never voted on it. They failed. It was a leadership ploy. They've gotten so much money from the camera lobbyists, they couldn't stick with the people. They had to stick with the people who paid them money.
Well, that kind of shocks me because I thought they were going to pass two separate forms of legislation. Then it would be up to the governor to determine which one he signed into law. But so nothing got to the governor's desk.
Nothing's gotten to the governor on the cameras.
That's got to tick you off.
Yeah, it actually does. And I mean, money plays in politics.
That's interesting. Any other headlines from Sine Die?
You know, yeah, I actually think the budget resolution for the GOP, we've got a great economy in Georgia right now, being able to give tax cuts and tax rebates. If we slip into a recession, though, they're going to have a harder legislative session next year.
Interesting. All right, what's coming up on the show today, brother?
I mean, we're going to talk about the terrorists, but also, you know, we're not talking about the Signal chat anymore. And one thing missing from the Signal chat is we've virtually now wiped out the Houthis with just very little effort in Yemen. Iran is announcing they're pulling their money back from the Houthis.
I'll tell you what. I'm obviously anti-Houthis, but I do love the name. As far as
absolutely,
one of the best names when it comes to that and Boko Haram are my two favorite terrorist names.
Yeah, a very 1970s.
Very catchy. It rolls off the tongue. All right, Eric, and you're live today. I got thrown a curveball on Friday. I was like, I can't wait to listen to Eric. But
sorry. Yep, I'm live all week. I'll be broadcasting from our sister station WDBO in Orlando tomorrow and Wednesday, though.
All right. Hey, thanks to you and Charlie. Sorry, I was about to call him Low T. You had a great tariff explainer on your show the day before, and I asked Charlie for the audio, and I replayed it on Friday because you really broke down what the funky numbers that came out of the White House when it came to the actual tariff numbers.
I can't believe they did that.
Yeah, so thank you. I don't know if you even were asked permission, but I played that on my show on Friday.
Always happy to.
All right. Thank you, Eric. I'll be listening
Take care.
today. There you go, Eric Erickson. He's going to continue to monitor the tariffs and the latest on the Houthis. I never thought about this, Deborah. You know, I think we're all having these conversations, whether externally or internally, like, all right, how are these tariffs going to impact me? Right? That's just the way it's human nature. Like, how are the tariffs going to impact me? Will the cost of my electronics go up? Will the cost of my sneakers go up? And so I've been trying to insulate myself, and I never thought that the tariffs would affect sushi prices, which to 95% of you means nothing, right? I mean, I would think a majority of folks don't enjoy sushi as much as I do, but the tariffs that are now impacting Japanese imports are going to impact sushi prices. So I think unquestionably the best sushi restaurant in Metro Atlanta now and for the last couple of decades has been Hayakawa. That's the name of the restaurant. It used to be on Buford Highway. Now it's on Howell Mill Road. It's crazy good. It's also really expensive. It's like a special occasion kind of sushi. And I never realized that the tariffs are going to impact sushi places because they get their fish flown in from Japan. So this is famed chef, Michelin chef Hayasan from Sushi Hayakawa. He posted this on social media about how the tariffs are going to impact sushi prices at this Michelin-starred restaurant.
I have an announcement for tonight. Actually, I got an email from Japan for my wholesaler distributor.
We received notification for our Japanese counterparts and distributors in Japan that there will be a 24% tax increase on imported goods from Japan. For 2023 and 2024, even after receiving Michelin awards, we have tried our best to never increase our prices. These new import taxes are going to hit us starting next week. However, we've decided that we will not be increasing our prices until April 23rd. With that, we've made the decision for the next 2 weeks, we will not be increasing our prices. For these 2-week period, we will be going forwards with our usual price. Even with these changes, we will be trying our best and striving to provide the highest quality experience and service to all of our guests. And we really hope to see you dine with us within the next 2 weeks and even afterwards.
That's the voice of Hayasan's translator. Vinny cut out all the Japanese out of there. Good job, Vin. But 24% increase on fish imported from Japan. Already wildly expensive. Going to be even more so. All right, let's check the ride around town. Back live to Atlanta's only 24-hour traffic center and Ashley Frasca.
Just watched Hero units clear a stall of a right center lane on 285 westbound past New Northside Powers Ferry. So things are improving there between Fulton and Cobb counties. Tap of the brakes through Vinings as you travel 285 northbound up from Cobb Parkway. And still a little bit slow downtown on 7585 northbound up to I-20. Traffic brought to you by Rapid Radios. Their instant push-to-talk walkie-talkies offering national LTE coverage. For a limited time, go to rapidradios.com for 60% off and free UPS shipping. Add code RADIO for an extra 5% off. I'm Ashley Frasca, 95.5 WSB.
He's the guy at the desk next to you.
Why do you always go after the game show host of The Price is Right?
He's your co-pilot for the ride home.
Don't tell me how to handle my life.
Eric Von Hessler.
Or anyone else.
Today at 3.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Termites could be eating your home right now, and you never know it. Scott Slade here for Breda Pest Management. When was the last time you actually saw your service inspect for termite damage? Well, let me guess. They just walked around outside and checked bait stations. Better get Breda. They use advanced infrared cameras and microwave technology for early detection. Switch to Breda, and your termite rate is locked in for 10 years.
Breda, Breda, no need to be afraid of bugs.
Window Nation customers have been singing our praises for years. With fast, local service and an industry-leading 96% customer satisfaction rating, it's no wonder.
I researched window companies for the last year to see what the average prices were and the quality of work. Window Nation nailed both.
Right now, get 4 windows free with every 4 you buy, plus no interest for 2 years. Hurry, this offer ends soon. Schedule a free estimate now. Call 866-90NATION or visit windownation.com. That's 866-90NATION.
Avoid the stress of preparing to sell your home. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can skip the hassle of spring cleaning and sell your home for maximum value. Hi, this is Mark Spain, and our offers are the strongest in the industry. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, you can sell your home stress-free, make the most money, and move when you're ready. There are no showings, no open houses, and no stress. Trust the top real estate team in the U.S. and find out what your guaranteed offer would be. There's no obligation. Go to markspain.com to get a guaranteed offer on your home today. That's markspain.com and start packing.
For many women in our community, support for our physical and mental health feels out of reach.
When your workday is long.
And your budget is tight.
And your village is busy.
And the road between home and help is a 6-lane highway with no crosswalk.
Northside Hospital believes women deserve better.
Northside is rolling up our sleeves and getting to work.
We got your house call.
Heard.
Learn more at northside.com/heard.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage doors should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Can you remember the last time you turned on the shower and all you got was cold water? Hopefully you don't have a fresh memory of that. Hey, it's Mark Aram. I want you to check out my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Great new deal on a new water heater. Check it out, guys. Only $29.99 a month and no payments for 3 whole months. No credit check and an unbeatable lifetime warranty. Or you want to go tankless? It's only $59.99 a month and you can enjoy endless hot water. Think about those long, hot showers in the cold, cold winter. Their new water heater installations come with their 100% satisfaction guarantee, same-day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. And with their Comfort as a Service program, you get lifetime repair and maintenance, no additional charges ever, no money down, and just easy monthly payments. So new water heater, $29.99 a month, or tankless, $59.99 a month. Amazing deal. Amazing hot water, amazing service. Go online to reliableair.com.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill?
When it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to big wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people paid to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
Apparently, my purchase of the $99 push mower at Home Depot yesterday, not enough to keep their stock afloat. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Nike and Home Depot shares plummeting right now. We're keeping a close eye on the market. I don't know what's going on. Dow's down $1.50, but NASDAQ now up 150. S&P's up 25. Been a roller coaster ride so far. Again, the first pop was news that President Trump might do a 90-day pause on Asian tariffs. That turned out not to be true. The question is, though, what happens if the S&P or the Dow drops below a certain percent? With Wall Street roiled by the Trump administration's new tariffs, ABC's Mike Dubusky says markets could see a halt in trading at points throughout the day. These are called circuit breakers.
If the S&P 500 drops 7% or more when markets first open, trading stops for 15 minutes. This circuit breaker kicks in again if markets then drop 13%. Trading shuts down for the day at 20%. Circuit breakers were first implemented in the wake of 1987's market crash known as Black Monday in an effort to prevent panic selling and stabilize the market.
I could be wrong. I probably am wrong, but I know at least, I'm not going to say the last time these circuit breakers were in play, but it was certainly a time. Do you remember when the housing bubble burst in like 07 or 08? What was that short? What was the name of that movie? It might Stephen Carell.
The Big Short.
The Big Short. Really good movie, by the way. But I think circuit breakers were used during that sell-off when the real estate mortgage finance thing just collapsed the economy. I know there were circuit breakers there. I'm trying to think if they had been used since then. But anyway, right now we're not in circuit breaker territory. I don't know what's going on. NASDAQ's up, Dow's down. Crypto, the crypto boys, you're down a little bit, but not as bad as it was. All the other crypto, aside from Bitcoin, is up. Ethereum, Solana, Dogecoin, Cardano. I don't know. A buddy of mine bought a ton of Dave Portnoy's meme coin. And you know who Dave Portnoy is from Barstool Sports? Yeah. And apparently it went up like 1,000% the first day, and now it's worth like a tenth of a penny. I don't know. But this guy has enough money just to mess around with that. Quick update from earlier in the show. The closest Texas Roadhouse location to WSB Radio is on Barrett Parkway, which isn't too far, but I can't take Longoria out for lunch that far away and then him get back in here. So sorry, Longoria.
Yeah, I do live over there.
Yeah, you can go on your own.
Yeah,
I can't take you there. Anyway. All right, Sabrina's about to buckle up, update the markets. When we come back, not only are we watching the markets, but there was some movement on the future ownership of TikTok, the widely popular app. Jennifer Deloy from Bloomberg News is going to join us live. Also next hour, Deborah's got tickets to give away, and we're going to be joined by country music star Maren Morris. A lot of stuff to come. Social medias are active at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
WSB Atlanta, WSB BFM, and HD1 Doraville. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
Hey, it's Scott Slade from iRoofer, FGA Roofing. If your home's exterior could use an updated look, or maybe one of your neighbor's designer roofs has caught your eye, search FGA Roofing for the latest in designer architectural shingles. Ask about 0% financing. That's FGA Roofing.
City of Hope, a place where seemingly impossible blood cancers become treatable, curable. With more than 19,000 bone marrow transplants performed, we're the largest and most successful program in the U.S., making major breakthroughs in treating leukemia, lymphoma, and rare blood cancers, personalizing a treatment plan right down to your DNA. Now the experts striving to make the impossible a reality are closer to home. Learn more at cityofhope.org.
Imagine selling your home and getting paid before and after it sells. It's like getting paid twice. You can with Orchard. Start with your free home valuation at orchard.com or call 1-844-421-SELL.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now.
800-575-2798.
Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com or call
800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
News, weather,
traffic. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11 o'clock. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by the Next Generation Xfinity 10G network. A roller coaster ride on Wall Street this morning.
Yeah, good time to put on your seatbelt. Again, if investors had the foresight to see that the tariffs would be as aggressive as they've been and get out of the market before, obviously that would have been great.
The markets tanked at the open this morning, then shot up quite a bit before heading back south. Kennesaw State University economic professor Roger Tutterow.
We've seen this before. We saw the dot-com bubble pop back in 2000, and it was roughly a decade before the NASDAQ got back to its 2000 peak.
And the president talking about the markets this morning. Karen Travers has more from the White House.
President Trump, in a social media post Monday, minutes before the stock market opened, called for no panic, signaling with his trade policy of sweeping stiff tariffs, quote, the United States has a chance to do something that should have been done decades ago. Still, the Dow Jones dropped more than 1,000 points at the opening. The president wrote in a separate post that countries all over the world are calling to negotiate and said, quote, tough but fair parameters are being set. But he gave no indication of what he's looking for to scale back or cancel tariffs.
As we take a look at the markets right now, the Dow's down 290 at 38,023. So the Dow's down more than 0.5%. NASDAQ is up more than 0.5%, and the S&P is down slightly. Goldman Sachs economist upping the odds, though, of a recession in the wake of the Trump tariffs.
Economists at Goldman raised their 12-month recession probability from 35% to 45%. They lowered their 2025 fourth quarter year-over-year growth forecast, and they also now see a Fed interest rate cut happening in June instead of July. The economists pointed to what they called a sharp tightening in financial conditions, foreign consumer boycotts, and a continued spike in policy uncertainty that is likely to depress capital spending by more than previously assumed. I'm Bloomberg's Gina Cervetti for 95.5 WSB.
We had storms this morning, but the rain is ending this afternoon with a high of 65, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz. And some of those storms this morning were severe. In fact, a radar-confirmed tornado passed through several South Metro counties.
The system intensified rapidly, roaring through Spalding, Fayette, and Henry counties. This listener provided an update using the open mic feature on the WSB app.
Mainly pine straw and natural debris. There was no building structures or anything like that.
And indeed, the structural damage appears to be minimal, which is very good news. But Glenn Polk with Spalding County Fire says it's always best to take any watches and warnings seriously.
It's always trying to stress people be prepared because you never know when something may happen. Preparedness is our best defense anytime.
A number of people did lose power at the height of the storm. Graham Carroll, 95.5 WSB.
A Dunwoody superspeeder goes straight to jail.
The Dunwoody Police Department says the 18-year-old driver was a risk to others on the road. That's because that driver was clocked at nearly 140 miles per hour on Interstate 285. The agency says 285 is already notorious for serious crashes, and speeds this high are a recipe for disaster.
And WSB's Austin Eller reports the driver was well above the speed limit, which ranges anywhere from 55 to 65 miles an hour on 285. The GBI arresting a former Coweta County deputy, accusing him of using excessive force against an inmate in the county jail. Agents say 29-year-old Justin Alexander Woods hit and then tased an inmate who was fully restrained during an argument back in February. The sheriff's office requested the investigation. Woods is no longer employed by the county and is facing charges of battery, simple battery, and violation of oath by a public officer. It's 11:03. Time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. We say good morning to Alex Williams in the 24-hour traffic center.
Hey, good morning, Sabrina. Dealing with a crash. Our traffic trooper spotted on the west side, I-20 eastbound at 285. They say that is in the center lane. It's gotten slow, 285 northbound, the inner loop leaving South Atlanta Road. Looks like something new on that low ramp to 285 east there in the Cobb Cloverleaf near Truist Park. We'll check on that. And a crash clearing out of the right lane, heading up past the airport, 85 northbound, right around Sylvan Road. That is exit number 75. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Rain tapers off today, some clearing late. Today's high 65. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, low 44, high 61.
It is 61 degrees in Alpharetta, 63 in Tucker. Dunwoody has 62 degrees. We'll have more news at 11:30. Breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
I want this town to be near you.
Hope you took your Dramamine this morning, investors. Roller coaster ride on Wall Street. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Still to come this hour. Deborah's got tickets to give away to see Andrea Bocelli. We're going to talk to country music sensation Maren Morris. But first and foremost, we are monitoring the markets. Up and down, to say the least. You're getting whiplash out there. The Dow down 100 right now, but NASDAQ's up $168. We'll continue to monitor the markets throughout the day here on 95.5 WSB, assuming they are reacting to the tariffs that President Trump implemented last week on Liberation Wednesday. Caught up in the tariff news and the tariff pushback and the tariff fallout is the future of TikTok. Joining us live from Bloomberg News covering that story, Jennifer Delowy. Jennifer, good morning. How are you?
Good morning. I'm great. Nice to be with you.
First, full disclosure, I'm not a big TikTok user. The show has one, but I've never logged onto it, so it's unfamiliar territory to me. But I know it's wildly popular, and it looked like there might have been a deal in the works, and then all of a sudden the tariff news came out, and from the way I'm reading the story, China says, no, this is not going to happen. Am I correct in that?
Yeah, I mean, that's basically the way it played out. A deal was very, very close. We and other outlets were reporting on this deal being very close in the middle of last week. The idea being that ByteDance, the owner of TikTok, would be selling it to U.S. owners, primarily U.S. owners, to comply with a federal law passed last year that requires that divestiture. Really, really close. Then Trump on Wednesday implemented 34% more tariffs on China on top of 20% he'd already slapped on the country, and China basically balked and hit the brakes on the deal. Trump has extended the deadline, and talks are still happening. But clearly China thinks it has leverage here over the tariff situation and is using TikTok to get what it wants.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but I at no point did I think that ByteDance said that TikTok was actually for sale. Did I misread that, or was it just the storage of the American user data that was possibly for sale?
Right. I mean, I think the structure of a final deal is part of the negotiations. There's an arrangement where it could essentially be spun off to American users and to American investors, rather, with ByteDance retaining the algorithm. And that's one possibility we could see as a part of these negotiations.
Interesting. Jennifer Delowy from Bloomberg News joining us live on the Mark Arum Show. We saw a lot of big-name investors. We saw Amazon come into the fray, possibly giving an offer there, some big billionaires. Do we have any idea what the actual price of TikTok would be?
That's not something I've seen reported, that we've reported. There's a lot of interest. I mean, some of the companies that are lining up and reportedly close, on this include Oracle, Blackstone, Andreessen Horowitz. There's a lot of big players that have expressed interest and were at the table in these negotiations with the Trump administration. And clearly this is a valuable asset. It's one that Trump has now twice extended a deadline for. He clearly is working to save it because it is such a valuable asset and important to a lot of American users.
It really is. I mean, I've never seen an app catch fire the way TikTok has. And it's primarily used by Gen Zers, but we've seen small businesses say that their entire business runs around TikTok. So obviously it's a very important thing. So where do we stand legislatively right now? Is it still available in app stores? It's still a functioning thing. Where do we stand with actual TikTok use right now?
Right. Well, Trump, this law that was passed last year did require basically a divestiture or a ban of this app by January 19th. Trump came in and immediately extended it. He extended it again last week. Depending on who you ask, that is not a particularly legal move, but whether folks are eager to challenge it, that remains to be seen. At this point, folks seem to be interested in allowing him a little bit more time and the administration a little bit more time to get this deal together. But the law itself really only allowed for one 90-day reprieve. For now, it's still in app stores. It's still available. The servers in the U.S. are still running.
Jennifer Deloy, Bloomberg News. Jennifer, thanks for your time on. I know it is a very busy day for you folks at Bloomberg. I really appreciate it.
Thank you.
There you go. So TikTok still in limbo. China pushing back. Crazy stuff. The market's all down now. The Dow's down a big 440 points, 1%. S&P and NASDAQ just down a smidge. Let's take a break from the tariff and the business and the markets. Very excited joining us on the Mark Arum Show, country music star Maren Morris and her best friend Karina Argo. Ladies, good morning. How are you?
We're good. How are you, Mark? Good morning.
This must be an exciting time for you. A new book debuts, written by both of you. It debuts tomorrow. Maren, tell us about the book.
Yeah, so this is our second in our series. So this book that's coming out tomorrow is called Beatrix Butterfly Wings It for Once. It's the sequel to our first book that came out last spring, Addie Ant Goes on an Adventure. They let us write another one. We're so excited because Beatrix Butterfly was a character in our previous book that became so popular, like out of our control almost, which is like the best way is just to let, kids decide their favorite characters. And so we were like, I feel like this next book we should make about Beatrix because she's a celebrity. She's a star. So it's such a sweet book. And of course, with any children's book that you grew up loving, there's a little lesson tucked in there subliminally. And also like enshrouded with all these beautiful illustrations. But no, I mean, this whole book, Beatrix Wings It for Once, is about Beatrix, who's like very together, studious. She's a taskmaster. I feel like she gets a little bit overly pressured by her own thoughts and dreams for the day, and her friends help her out and realize, like, you don't have to get to everything on your list, but if you just set one thing to do for the day, you'll feel good and productive. And I feel like, we just, adults and children could all take a lesson from that, myself included.
Absolutely. Karina, how long have you been friends with Maren, and what led you up to the first book?
We've been friends for over a decade, and we were on the bus, Maren's tour bus, really late one night, just talking about life and all sorts of things. And Maren, at the time, I think her son would have been like 3. And Maren was just reading books to him every single night. And we were talking about the different books that they were reading. And I told Maren, I was like, I've just always wanted to, do a children's book. Maren was like, I've always wanted to do a children's book. And I was like, well, I've got this, group of characters in my head that I've been kind of cooking up for a few years. And Maren was like, tell me all about it. And I did. And the next day she was like, okay, we're doing this. We are doing this.
And with no previous writing or illustration experience, you just had this kernel of an idea. And on the tour bus, you said, all right, let's do it.
Yeah, well, you think about it. Maren is a professional writer, and I was an English teacher for 10 years, so I had some writing experience. And I think those two things together have really worked to make the stories just really fun. And yeah, I mean, I've written a lot of songs in my day, and Karina's written a lot of lesson plans and curriculums, but I think we maybe Googled how to write a children's book. Figured out, okay, how many are, typically an average, page number, how to set it up. And, of course, we found an amazing publisher, and then Karina, through Instagram, found this illustrator that we ended up just falling in love with named Kellyanne Dalton. So it was, very, not by the book, funnily enough. We just sort of, did it our own way, and now it's we're on our second book. The first one was a New York Times bestseller, and this book just feels, I don't know, us being able to relax even more into our own characters and storyline. But 100%. I've tested it out. We've tested it out with my son's 5. He loves the book. So I was like, whew, thank God.
That's awesome. My wife's a teacher, so I'm familiar with the lesson plan. My wife's a teacher, so I know you actually do definitely do a lot of writing, Karina. Karina Argo, Maren Morris joining us on the Mark
Yeah.
Aram Show. The book world is so interesting right now because a majority of adults, at least in my social circle, it's all on the Kindle, right? Everything is downloaded. But I would imagine that there's nothing that beats a hardcover or a softback children's book, right? Those are still actual books that parents read to their kids.
Thank God. I know. I mean, we have like an audio book we recorded for both of these, which is, was so fun. But I know with children's books, like you can't do that on a laptop or an iPad. It's like you really want to be able to smell the pages and crack the spine and it's just it's a shelf display too. I feel like half of the project is just writing the story, creating the characters, but then finding a superstar illustrator, because kids, of course, the first thing they're seeing is the drawings and the pages. So no matter how like pastel or simplistic or maximalist you get with the artwork, I feel like that's the first thing young children especially are going to see. So we were just so lucky to find Kellyanne, our illustrator. And one of the things Maren and I asked Kellyanne to do as well was give us some like little Easter eggs so that there were things for readers to try to find while they were going page to page. And every single page has little hidden things. I still look at like our first book and I see things that I'd never seen before. Yeah, she's an incredible illustrator.
Yeah, that's a talent. So, the idea for the book series came on a tour bus. Might we see a book tour? Could you be coming to Atlanta where parents and kids can get the book signed?
Well, we're actually in New York right now because the book comes out tomorrow. We're doing a signing here in New York at a bookstore, and then we're doing one at a local bookstore in Nashville. But we have a lot of bandmates and friends in Atlanta, so we need to get down there. There's actually a bookstore that we love in Atlanta, or outside of Atlanta, I guess. It's in Decatur. Decatur, yeah. Yeah. We need to get down there and do a proper signing, though.
Little Shop of Stories?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes, that one is so cute. And they actually had our first book in there.
Excellent. All right, so Little Shop of Stories. Maybe we can sign up, get a book signing on the tour. Speaking of tours, Maren, what's the latest musically with you?
Well, I have an album coming out called Dreamsicle May 9th, so I've got a busy spring. But no, I'm so excited to have a new record out. I just put a song out from it 2 weeks ago called Carry Me Through. So yeah, it's like a big whirlwind of like creative book stuff and then album launch. And hopefully maybe a tour is not too far behind.
Very excited. Beatrix Butterfly, Wings It for Once, comes out tomorrow. Maren Morris, Karina Argo, thank you so much for your time, ladies. Best of luck with the book.
Yeah, thanks, Mark.
And we'll see you in Decatur when you guys come to town.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye-bye. I listen, Deborah, you and I and Tim Andrews need to come together and write a children's book. Now, you and I will author it. Tim is a great doodler, artist, cartoonist. We just got to come up with a good idea because that's the only, not the only, but the major sale of actual physical books is still children's books. And I don't think it'll take that long for us to come up with some sort of a storyline. Then we get Tim to do the yeah. So let's you know what?
Can we do like a story about the show, but we're just like animals somehow and just kind of do it that way?
Something, yeah. All right, I'm going to do the Doge request to you. Instead of 5 things you did last week, Deborah, come up with 5 ideas for a children's book. I'll come up with 5 ideas for a children's book. No, you don't want to? It could be about
bunnies. Sounds like our thing that we have to do at work every day.
I know. That's true. All right, I'll come up with the idea. You'll help me flush it out. Tim will illustrate it, and we'll make $1 million. Sound good?
Okay.
All right, there you go. Thank you, Deborah. Future children's author, Deborah Green. All right, let's check the ride around. Before I check the ride around town, Alex, Mark, Dow's down 900 points. 900 points. Hopefully the news not that bad on the freeways. We do have trouble on I-20, though, Alex.
Yeah, we've been dealing with a crash in the center lane. I think they just got it toward the narrow right shoulder, I-20 eastbound in Fulton County, West Atlanta area, right at 285, exit 51. Still seeing some brake lights, so back to Riverside Parkway. Whatever was holding you up on the 285 northbound inner loop right at I-75, exit 20 there. there next to Truist Park in Cobb County. Looks to have cleared. Some lingering volumes from South Atlanta Road. And a crash just cleared by the airport, 85 northbound at Sylvan Road, exit number 75. Traffic brought to you by Lear Capital. Lear Capital, our financial system is cracking under pressure. Your retirement is at risk. Take control now. Lear Capital is offering a free Sky High Silver report and precious metals IRA guide at betternestegg.com. Don't leave your future to chance. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The Morning Rush Hour.
Looks to be a tanker truck crashed into the median.
Evening Rush Hour.
It is an absolute mess.
And everything in between.
Also, bring the speeds down. The rain is falling on 75 and 575.
Tune in 24/7 with the Triple Team Traffic Center.
Your source for Atlanta's traffic. Brought to you by the Cool Ray Lifetime Parts and Labor Warranty.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
This is Scott Slade, and I'm ready for air conditioning season. Ragsdale Heating and Air has already checked out my system, so I know it's right. Get to know the good people at Ragsdale before summer arrives. Right now, you can take up to $1,700 off a new Carrier home comfort system. And that comes with Ragsdale's own trusted 15-year parts and labor warranty. And if your current system just needs some attention, take advantage of Ragsdale's $79 AC tune-up offer. You can trust Ragsdale for plumbing and electrical work, too, when you go to ragsdaleair.com or call them. Ragsdale is the name I know you can trust.
I'm going to let you in on a little secret. When garage doors break, they usually don't break all at once. They don't just up and die. They die slowly. Garage doors complain a bit before they crap out, squeaking and sticking and shaking and grinding. They go down part way and then stop and go back up for no reason. But they hardly ever just end up dead with no symptoms and no long goodbye. If you ignored the signs, that dead door is on you. At Mo Better Garage, we make that way mo better. Our 19-point seasonal maintenance check makes sure everything's healthy. Oil the chain, check the rollers, realign the tracks, talk to you about how things are going, and look into any symptoms that might have you worried. Catch problems early, and your garage door should be around to play with the grandkids and talk about the old days when all this was just farmland.
Mo Better Garage, we make it way more better.
MoBetterGarage.com.
Men, trouble in the bedroom? Not anymore. Priority Men's Medical Center restores your love life in just one visit. Their painless breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE. Here's a specialist in men's health.
I'm Dr. Simovitz. Have Viagra or Cialis let you down? Priority Men's Medical Center offers the most effective treatments that eliminate ED and PE, with men lasting longer than ever. 98% of patients see instant results on their first visit.
Priority Men's Medical Center's breakthrough treatments eliminate ED and PE, regardless of age or medical history. Your consultation and first treatment are free. You'll see instant results in the office. Plus, qualified patients get their testosterone checked free. Call 404-885-8885. 404-885-8885. To restore your love life in just one visit, call now. 404-885-8885.
At CertaPro Painters, we know that a happy place comes in many colors, like ones that inspire a sense of wonder, or a new flavor that makes life just a little bit sweeter, or one to celebrate those moments that lift you to new heights, at home or at work. We'll make your happy place your own. CertaPro Painters. That's painting happy. Each CertaPro Painters business is independently owned and operated. Contractor license and registration information is available at CertaPro.com.
Critical Link from Southern Link. We're more than a mission-critical LTE network. Together, we're a network of people that has you covered. Public sector grade push-to-talk, LTE voice, mobile data. Critical Link. Reliability in action. Call 866-450-LINC for Southern Link products and deals. Or visit Highfly Technologies in Atlanta or NextLink in Duluth. Go to southernlink.com to find a dealer near you.
Hi, this is Candace from Exovations, and have I got a tip for you. But today, instead of giving you a home remodeling tip, my tip is don't just take my word for it. For over 20 years, you've heard me on the radio sharing remodeling advice. But if you really want to know what sets Exovations apart, go read our reviews. At exovations.com, you'll find hundreds of real stories from real homeowners who have trusted us with their exterior remodeling projects. From decks, siding, windows, doors, paint, roofing, porticos, and so much more. You'll see words like amazing, amazing work, incredible experience from start to finish, and again, stress-free. That's not just what we say, it's what our customers say. So yes, I'm Candace from Exovations, but don't just listen to me. Listen to our reviews. At Exovations, we do projects on time, on budget, and without all that stress. Google Exovations or visit EXOVATIONS.com.
It's Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers, and that means this month, buying diamonds comes with even more diamonds. All through the month of April, when you spend $9.95 or more, you'll receive a pair of gorgeous hand-matched diamond studs absolutely free. Shopping for your wife? Tuck those studs away for your anniversary. Upgrading your ring? Surprise your daughter with her first pair of diamonds. No matter how you spin it, there's no better deal in jewelry than Diamond Month at D. Geller & Son Jewelers. All April long in Kennesaw, Sandy Springs, and online at dgeller.com.
We have this dark cloud of uncertainty just hanging over the U.S. economy, and that's leading to paralysis by businesses. They're going to be cutting business investment in equipment, in structures. They're going to sit on their hands when it comes to hiring.
That's right. Sweet Chief economist at Oxford Economics, a global forecasting analyst firm. Welcome back to the Mark Arum Show. Coming back to a little Hall and Oates because Oates turned 77 years old today. He is a friend of the show. Hall, not so much. And he's, he might want to be friends with me. But I'm Team Mustache, so happy 77th birthday, Hall & Oates. All right, checking the markets. Dow's down 1,000, NASDAQ down 300, S&P's down 100. I've decided, in the break, this, guys, that I'm going to treat the stock market day the way I treat an NBA game. And if you're an NBA fan, you know what I'm about to say. You can ignore the first 40. How many minutes in an NBA game now? Is it 40? Is it 48? I don't know.
48.
48. All right. You can, in an NBA game, Vinny, back me up. You're a baller, shot caller, brawler. You can turn into any. It's not worth watching an NBA game till the final 2 minutes, right?
Yeah, final 5 minutes, yeah.
Well, for you're younger, so you've got more time to kill.
Yeah, I can stay up longer.
I don't need to turn on an NBA game until the last 2 minutes because what happens in the previous 46? Lead changes. Like the Hawks go up 10, the Knicks go up 7, the Hawks go up 4, the Bulls go up 9. It doesn't matter till the last 2 minutes. So that's the way I'm going to look at the stock market today. It's like an NBA game. Now, as my role as a talk show host, I do have to update the markets. But once I get off the air at noon, I am not going to look at the markets until the bell rings. Because I'm not trading during the day. I'm not one of those day traders that's going to short, sell. I'm not that guy. So I'm going to treat the market like an NBA game. And I'm just going to tune in for the last 2 minutes because that's all that really matters. Pretty good, right?
Sure, yeah.
I think that's valid.
Yeah. Like, why be tortured for the first 46 minutes of a Hawks game? Just tune in the last 2 minutes. That's all that matters. That's the way I'm going to treat the stock market. The market news bad globally, by the way. Record drops in the Asian markets. We'll get the latest from the Nikkei index when we come back. Deborah's got some tickets to give away to Andrea Bocelli, but I'm going to let Sabrina do the heavy lifting and update the markets for you in about 3 minutes. Yeah, we're 3 minutes away from news, weather, and traffic. Social's active. On TikTok, I believe it's the Mark Arum Show, but I can't do anything with it. But all the other socials are at Mark Arum and at WSB Radio.
This is Scott Slade. Let's talk about how to improve your chances of living a longer, healthier life. For me, it's preventive medicine. My doctor saw one funky number in my lab work that eventually led to a diagnosis early enough so I still had options. You just got to have a medical professional looking at you every so often, especially when we're talking about heart disease, the nation's #1 killer. And that's where virtual imaging comes in. They've got the best CT imaging in the Southeast with 98% accuracy and low radiation, like flying in an airplane. They can detect calcium levels in your arteries and most cancers at the earliest stage. And virtual imaging can scan your brain to see if you're in danger of a tumor, stroke, or even dementia. So don't put this off, especially with this offer for virtual imaging. For a limited time, they're offering you and your spouse a free heart scan. Yes, free with a few minimum requirements. I've done it. Call 404-678-SCAN. That's 404-678-SCAN. or make an appointment by visiting their website at virtualimagingatl.com.
Don't miss your chance to take advantage of the Buy 4, Get 4 free sale and pay nothing until 2027. Sale ends soon, only from Window Nation. Schedule your free estimate now at 866-90-NATION or visit windownation.com. That's windownation.com.
Hey guys, it's Mark Aram here. Listen, I want to tell you about a real solution to hair loss from my pals at Advanced Hair. What makes them different? Well, they combine science and technology to give you back your own natural growing hair. Not a pill or a lotion subscription that helps you retain what you have. Instead, Advanced Hair offers the proven, guaranteed solution that regrows your hair where it's currently gone. Best yet, quick, simple one-day treatment. I've seen their facilities. I've seen their physicians. Top-notch, top quality, and guaranteed results. Yeah, your real hair begins to regrow the very next day, and it's guaranteed to grow for life. It just takes one visit, but first, you're going to need a free consultation, guys. Schedule now, 470-660-HAIR. That's 470-660-HAIR or advancedhair.com. And if you move forward, you'll get $250 off plus 250 free grafts. One-day treatment, life-changing results. Your own natural hair guaranteed to grow. advancedhair.com.
It's time to get rid of the pollen, dust, and allergens in your home the easy way with Zerorez Air Duct Experts. Just picture it. The Zerorez pros come in, the dust, pollen, and allergens go out. Plus, right now, if you mention me, Chris Chandler, you get $50 off your next air duct cleaning. $50 off. Use promo code AIR50 when scheduling online at ZerorezAtlanta.com today and ask about Zerorez commercial cleaning too. All they leave is clean.
Live from the Superior Plumbing Studios.
News,
weather,
traffic.
95.5 WSB.
Atlanta's News and Talk.
It's 11:30. Good morning. I'm Sabrina Cupid. This news sponsored by Rocco's European Garage. As we take a look at the markets, the Dow's down more than 1,000 points. We'll have more on that in just a moment. But first, no injuries reported after that severe weather swept through the metro area during the morning drive, prompting a tornado warning across several South Metro counties. In Spalding County, Fire Chief Glenn Polk telling WSB that they had some trees and power lines down, including one tree that fell onto a home there.
We have no report of any injuries. It was out on Woolman Lane.
And Storm Tracker radar indicated a tornado north of Griffin this morning during those storms, passing into Henry County. Henry County's EMA director saying that they have minimal reports of damage there. So what can we expect the rest of the day? The rain will be ending, says Channel 2 Action News meteorologist Brad Nitz, and your afternoon high should be right there around 65. You'll have Atlanta's most accurate and dependable forecast coming up in just over 2 minutes. An 18-year-old driver is busted going 137 miles an hour on I-285 in Dunwoody. That teen driver was arrested and taken straight to jail. Speeds on 285 range anywhere typically from 55 to 65 miles an hour. Again, he was going 137 miles an hour. New research by the University of Florida looks at over 92,000 patients, over 50, who are for almost 9 years taking drugs to lower blood sugar and promote weight loss. The data suggests those patients lowered their risk of Alzheimer's and dementia by 33 to 43%. Rebecca Edelmeyer is a neuroscientist for the Alzheimer's Association.
It adds to the body of evidence of our understanding of how we might be able to potentially look at trends that could demonstrate potential new uses for these treatments to be used for Alzheimer's disease and other dementia.
And clinical trials focusing on this new research are happening right now and could report early results by the fall. 4 Virginia high school students have created an app to identify oral cancer. It uses a smartphone to take a picture of a person's mouth, and then it scans the image and produces information on whether or not there's a cancerous tumor inside. This app uses artificial intelligence and compares the person's pictures to images of hundreds of others that are healthy or have benign or malignant tumors. The students say that they're working on getting FDA approval now to get the app on the App Store. They also say they plan to make this app free. The college basketball championship will be decided tonight in San Antonio. Houston head coach, he wants to win it in front of home state fans.
It took us a while to become who we are, but if you have a culture, quitting is not part of the deal.
The Cougars take on Florida. The Gators beat Auburn over the weekend to make it to the final game. Tickets for tonight's game are selling for as much as $2,200 on resale websites. And now the markets. It has been a crazy day with the markets down 1 minute, up the next, then down again. Kennesaw State University economics professor Roger Tutterow says it's going to be a bumpy ride for a while.
The smartest thing to do is to
continue to keep an eye on the market, but understand that volatility is going to be the norm going forward.
All right, so let's take a look at the markets. We are in the red. The Dow's now down 961 points at 37,353. That puts the Dow down more than 2.5%. NASDAQ is down more than 1.5%, and the S&P is down almost 2%. It's time now for live team coverage of traffic and weather. Alex Williams in the WSB 24-hour traffic center.
It's a mess over on the west side. Got a new crash, 285 southbound, the outer loop just before you get to I-20, exit number 10. It's knocking out at least one, maybe two right center lanes. You're stacked up back toward just before Huddlewell Parkway. Had an earlier crash, 20 eastbound at I-285, exit 51. Looks like the one closer to 285 is cleared, but still staying slow back to Fulton Industrial Boulevard. So we're going to check on that slow zone, keeping you jammed up coming out of Lithia Springs. Alex Williams, 95.5 WOSB.
I'm Channel 2 Action News Chief Meteorologist Brad Nitz. Headed to the mid-60s today, clearing late. Mostly sunny tomorrow, low 44, high 61.
It is 59 degrees in Villa Rica, 64 in Lovejoy. Conyers, you have 65 degrees right now. We'll have more news at noon, breaking news when it happens. I'm Sabrina Cupid, 95.5 WSB.
The news of the day through the eyes of Eric Von Hessler.
I've listened to many arguments, and there are good arguments to say that we shouldn't. So I'm just saying.
If it's on your mind, it's on his.
This is the only way to do it. Some people are going to lose their job, and then they're going to be put back in the job.
Eric Von Hessler, today at 3.
It's about you. You're being celebrated.
95.5 WSB, Atlanta's News and Talk.
The calculations from my point of view are nonsense. Even the basis of the calculation is nonsense.
That's the Germany trade minister. More foreign reaction to the tariff news. We'll update that. Deborah's got tickets to give away. Coming up next on the Mark Arum Show.
Hey, y'all, Belinda Skelton for Four Seasons Home Care. And I'm not going to cry in this commercial, I hope. As many of you know, I lost both my parents recently, but I am so thankful they were able to finish their lives at home where they wanted to be. It's all because of the incredible caregivers who came to see them every day. I am so grateful to Four Seasons Home Care. This is a real family-owned company that vets and hires every single one of their caregiving specialists. They don't have contractors. They're not some national corporation. They are simply the best here in Georgia. And a lot of you have asked me about my journey and if home care is right for your aging parents. I'll tell you what I tell them. Call Four Seasons Home Care and just start the conversation. It's a 100% free call that can change everything. Google Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta. That's Four Seasons Home Care Atlanta.
We all hear the radio ads about the IRS. They tell you to be afraid, to be scared, and they try to frighten you into calling. I'm not here to do that. Tax Relief Advocates is different. TRA is here to tell you that if you owe money to the IRS, whether it's $5,000, $50,000, or $500,000, we have a solution. It doesn't matter if you're sitting in your car, at work, or with your kids. No matter where you are, call now. 800-575-2798. Don't lose hope. TRA can eliminate or reduce what you owe to the IRS.
Generous programs are now available that can give you a fresh start.
Our passion is taxes and helping individuals fix their IRS problems.
We have over 1,000 5-star reviews on Google and an A+ with the Better Business Bureau.
You don't need to be afraid of the IRS any longer. End your tax nightmare today by visiting us online at TRA.com
or call 800-575-2798. That's 800-575-2798.
Tax Relief Advocates. Real solutions for real people.
April showers bring May flowers, but they may also lead to water inside your home. Dave Baker here for Findlay Roofing, the roof guys. Rain means trouble for your roof, and when it does, think of Findlay first. The perfect match for any roofing issue. And with Findlay, manners matter. They'll treat your home like it's their own with 5-star exceptional service. Plus, Findlay offers upfront pricing, 0% financing, and a free roof analysis. FindlayRoofing.com. Roof.
He packed in the animals 2x2, ox, camel, and a kangaroo.
11:37 on what is a pretty dreary Monday. Hopefully we've lightened your day a bit through the first 2.5 hours of the Mark Arum Show. Going to close out strong right now, starting with an amazing pair of tickets that executive producer Deborah Green's about to give away. What do we have today, Deborah?
We had a pair of tickets to see Andrea Bocelli at Gas South Arena on October 11th.
That's a huge concert. Like, that's big. Are we going to have these all week?
All week.
Ooh, all right. Vinny's been so good today. Going to take it easy on you, Vin. 10th caller to 404-872-0750. 10th caller to 404-872-0750 wins a pair of tickets to Andrea Bocelli. There's the extent of my Italian, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show and 95.5 WSB. In case you missed it earlier in the show, I tried my best to beat the tariffs, bought a push mower, a $99 push mower from Home Depot yesterday. Apparently, while I was out, I should have stopped and bought a grill. Apparently, grill costs could be going up through tariffs, Deborah.
It's grilling season, but if you need a new grill, you might want to buy it now. Ace Hardware is warning their customers with the new tariffs. Chances are the price of grills and all metal products like hardware and fixtures, that's going to increase by as much as 30%. And grill makers have even alerted stores of price adjustments kicking in May. So if you need that grill, now's the time to buy.
Yeah, and I saw... what's the Shark Tanks guy? The owner of the Mavericks, Mark Cuban. Mark Cuban posted that folks should get out to the big box stores and get all the electronics that they need before the tariffs come in. So it's all these things that you don't think about. Like, again, I didn't think about sushi, but all the fish is imported from Japan. They're going to be tariffed now. Huge tariffs on China. Everything we get from China, whether it's clothing or electronics, what have you, is going to be tariffed. I didn't even think about grills. And to be honest, when I was buying that push lawnmower yesterday, Deborah, I wasn't even thinking, I should buy this before the tariffs go up. I just said, I'm gonna buy this push mower. No, I don't need a motor. I've got my muscles to take care of the.
What was the reasoning behind that? Truly,
seriously, that my lawn guy. Again, I haven't mowed a lawn since college. I despised it as a kid. I used to have to do it. My parents' yard, front and back. I finally moved to Atlanta, and I mowed my. I was like, I've mowed my last lawn, and I've hired this. I've got an app, and this guy comes and mows my lawn. It's great. I don't have to do it, but he canceled on Thursday, and the lawn was already looking kind of seedy in the back. The back grows faster than the front for whatever reason. Different kind of fescue. So the guy canceled, and he's like, I'll be out April 12th. And this was on Friday. And I was like, any chance you can come out sooner? It's looking rough. And he just replied, yes. So I waited Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. He hadn't been there yet. And I was like, you know what? I got to do something. And
why no motor?
Because this was, to me, is a short-time fix. Like, I'm not going to buy a $500 lawnmower just to mow it one time so my dogs have a path to go hurry poopies. So I was like, I've used that strictly manual push mower in the past. I was like, it's fine. My backyard's not that big. I can do that. So that's why I didn't want to shell out $500 for a mower I was going to use once. But much to my surprise, I enjoyed it. It was really satisfying to see the grass that I mowed. And I realized I don't hate mowing the lawns. I hated being forced to have to mow the lawns. That's what I despised. I actually enjoyed it. It was great. So I might just cancel the service. And, when you're as strong as I am, you don't need a gas power mower. You just go out there and do it. So it was a revelation. I'm very happy I did it. Maya was shocked, by the way, because she's out of town for spring break. And I sent her a picture of the lawnmower. And she's like, who are you? And I explained what's going on. So maybe that'll be my early birthday gift. No, she doesn't care. But she was very proud of me that I not only mowed the lawn, but I put the lawnmower together, which was an even harder point. Speaking of my wife, Deborah, I need your input here.
Oh.
The only show that Maya and I watched together is White Lotus, okay?
Okay.
And the season finale was last night.
Oh.
Maya's coming back on Friday. Do I wait till she comes back to the season finale? What I'm worried is I've been dodging social media because I don't want any spoilers because everyone's freaked out apparently about the season finale of White Lotus. Mm-hmm. Or do I betray her and watch it, and then when she gets back, I'll be like, oh, we'll watch it together and act surprised?
Doesn't it say that you already watched it, though? Like, when I watch something,
I got ways around that. I've got ways, right.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Xfinity.
I mean, I would just tell her, like, hey, do you want me to wait until you come back? And that way,
I know she's going to say yes.
Well, then you have to wait until she comes back.
But I'm going to find, like, if
you already want to do it, then just watch it and use her ways around it so she doesn't know.
Yeah, but is that a betrayal?
Yes, because she's probably listening somehow.
No, I doubt it. If she's listening, no, she can't be. The funniest thing ever is the biggest time I've ever betrayed Maya wasn't in real life. It was in one of her dreams. Do you ever get this, Longoria? Your wife has a dream and wakes up mad about you?
Yeah.
And check this out, Deborah. This was the dream that Maya had where I betrayed her. It wasn't anything physical. She's like, in her dream, we were out to dinner with a bunch of other couples, and I was sitting next to another woman, right? Maya was sitting across from me, but I was sitting next to another woman. And after dinner, I ordered a dessert to share with the woman next to me. Like, oh, I want the cheesecake.
Oh.
And, hey, Stacy, do you want to share this cheesecake? And she's like, oh, sure, I'd love to share the cheesecake, Stacy. Again, this is a dream. Maya's having this dream, and she's like, I've never felt more betrayed that you were sharing cheesecake with Stacy.
I get it.
So that's the high point of betrayal in our relationship is that.
Yeah, well, don't betray her in real life.
All
Just
right, I
wait
won't
till
do
Friday.
it. I know. You're the voice of reason.
Did you watch 1923? Did you finish it?
No, I haven't even started that. I mean, there's so much to do. I know, Deborah. Listen, I'm mowing lawns now. I have very limited TV time. All right, I'm not going to watch White Lotus. Please don't give me any spoilers, though. I want to see it. All right, back to the markets. Asian markets, by the way, had their worst session since 2008 recession. U.S. markets up and down this morning as investors continue to worry about the implication of President Trump's global tariffs. The tariffs, which are additional taxes on imported goods paid by the businesses doing the importing, will affect a variety of goods from around the world. And economists say prices are set to rise on everything from electronics to clothing to certain groceries. Let's get more from ABC's Rebecca Jarvis.
We've heard from some foreign automakers who are saying they're going to pause shipping their cars into the United States for the next month while they sift through what this is going to look like. And then you're going to see it really across the board in areas like pharmaceuticals, groceries, furniture. All these areas that come in from overseas and come to the U.S. will have the new tariff on them. And then it's up to the businesses to decide whether they pass that tariff off to consumers. They usually do.
Yeah, we will see what happens there. Ironically, on Capitol Hill, I mentioned this earlier in the show, Democratic Senator Maria Cantwell says she is co-sponsoring a bill with Republican Senator Chuck Grassley to limit a president's authority to unilaterally impose tariffs, quickly gaining traction in the Senate with 7 Republicans already offering support. Cantwell explained why on CBS's Sunday's Face the Nation.
Usually you don't get a first introduction and get so many people on board, but I think it shows the anxiety that people have. I'm sure if they listen to their constituents, consumer challenges are already starting to surface, and certainly the stock market's impact on retirement income is shaking a lot of people.
Yeah, we talked to Eric Erickson. I asked him about that. He said that'd be dead in the water. The president would certainly veto, and there would not be enough Republican votes to overturn the veto. Dow, it's down 440, but that's not as bad as it was a couple of minutes ago. It was up down over 1,000. NASDAQ and S&P down a little as well. We'll continue to monitor the markets. Speaking of my wife, I've wanted to go on a European river cruise. That's like our retirement goal. Oh, when we retire, we'll go on a European river cruise. I never thought about taking a Great Lake cruise. That's actually a thing now, Deborah.
Okay, cruise fans, a small ship is making a comeback. You'll soon be able to set sail on the Victory Cruise Line through the Great Lakes. It's between 9 and 14 nights. You'll visit all 5 Great Lakes, and it's either from Chicago or Milwaukee to Toronto. You can expect stops at Mackinac Island, Sault Ste. Marie, and visit places like Lambeau Field, Gulpatgol, the Henry Ford Museum, and even the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Cruises start about $5,000.
That seems expensive for a Great Lakes cruise. I'm on board, though. Like, I will do that after the European river cruise. I would do the Great Lakes cruise for sure. I've been to 2 Great Lakes, Erie and one other. I forget. I had Lake Erie Perch. I know that. Deborah, you're from that neck of the woods. $5,000 is would you do that for a Great Lakes cruise?
2 weeks, all 5, and it's like all the food's included, Wi-Fi, all this other stuff. That's not that bad, right? For all 5 Great Lakes.
You know what sold me? When you said we'll stop at Mackinac Island.
Mackinac, not Lambeau Field.
Well, that Lambeau Field's great too, but Mackinac Island with the Mackinac peaches, right? Have you heard of the Mackinac peaches, Deborah?
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a famous episode of Seinfeld, the Mackinac peaches. They're only good for like a week, a year. All right, I'll do that. I'm going to do the river cruise first, and then I'll do the Great Lakes cruise. So see all 5 Great Lakes on the Great Lakes cruise. What's the name of the tour? The boat? Liberty?
Victory.
Victory, Liberty, what have you. Not victorious on the west side perimeter. Currently a travel advisory Alex Williams, what can you tell us?
Yeah, I see the hero, fire, police, emergency responders all on scene with this crash. Now just a right shoulder open. 285 southbound, the outer loop just before I-20 exit 10. You're stacked up back towards South Cobb Drive. You can make your way down South Cobb Drive, which becomes H.E. Holmes, and then hop on I-20 westbound or just go through downtown as an alternate. 20 eastbound has recovered nicely out of Lithia Springs over to 285 where we had an earlier crash clear. And the south side a little sluggish heading into spring break. 75, or we're in spring break. 75 southbound, some brake lights from Highway 138 down to Hudson Bridge Road. Alex Williams, 95.5 WSB.
The news breaks.
At the closing bell, the numbers are horrific. A brutal 2 days for stocks.
The markets are in turmoil.
This is the worst two-day rout for stocks since March of 2020.
What comes next?
When will President Trump's tariffs result in what he's aiming for?
And what it all means to your money.
Stocks tanked again today.
We're on it.
Investors can't shake their worries.
Tune in throughout the day for the very latest on an economy in crisis. 95.5 WSB, Atlanta's breaking news station.
Hot water heater just not cutting it anymore? You don't get that piping hot shower you want every morning? Hey, it's Mark Aaron back from my friends at Reliable Heating and Air. Check out this amazing deal. New water heater, only $29.99 a month, and make no payments for 3 whole months. Or you can go tankless, only $59.99 a month, and you can enjoy that lovely, endless hot water. Same day water heater installation guaranteed, or they pay you $300. Get that new water heater now. Save a ton of money. Just go online to reliableair.com.
Hey, if you've been thinking about selling your home, now is the time. With a guaranteed offer from Mark Spain Real Estate, now you can sell your home fast and for more than you expect. Hey, Sean Hannity here. One of the most stressful things about selling your home is not being able to control the timing. Now, Mark Spain Real Estate, they allow you to receive an all-cash offer and close in as little as 21 days. Just go to markspain.com to find out what your guaranteed offer will be. That's markspain.com, and you can start packing.
At Ameris Bank, we're invested in the success of your business. Our local bankers are ready to help you improve your cash flow, optimize your operating accounts, and access financing when you need it. From treasury services and digital banking to loans and lines of credit, we offer tailored solutions to help your business thrive. At Ameris Bank, we're with you. Visit amerisbank.com/withyourbusiness or walk into one of our branches today to get started. Ameris Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans subject to credit approval.
Attention men, are you suffering from ED or PE? Here's an important message from Choice Men's Health.
I'm Dr. Katz and I'm the Chief Medical Director at Choice Men's Health. Are you performing the way you want to in the bedroom? If the answer is no and you've tried Viagra, Cialis, and Levitra and were disappointed, then you need to come see us immediately. If you don't see results on the first visit, then there's no charge. Many of our patients have medical conditions such as diabetes, hypertension, obesity, and prostate problems. I'm happy to say that we have 98% success rate with all our patients. Our customized solutions will allow you to perform within 10 minutes and last an hour and even longer. You can regain your love life and tackle your ED and PE problems. Guys, your partner will never complain again. Our clinic has the most affordable prices, so if you visit other clinics and you're not completely satisfied, then you need to call Choice Men's Health.
Regain your love life regardless of your age or medical history. Choice Men's Health guarantees results on your first visit or you pay nothing. Call now, 404-400-1170. That's 404-400-1170.
I'm consumer investigator Dale Cardwell, and for over a decade, I've trusted America's best choice for windows, doors, siding, and decks.
Spring is the perfect time to update your home, and America's Best Choice makes it easy with these spring specials. Highest quality, energy-efficient windows starting at just $299. Take 10% off a new deck and create the outdoor oasis of your dreams. No pressure, no gimmicks. Visit abcwin.com today to schedule your free consultation.
Comcast Business helps turn today's small businesses into engines of modern business. It's how restaurants become reliably up and running neighborhood favorites. How retailers become seamlessly restocking, cyber-securing, must-visit shops. And how healthcare offices become the data managing caregivers that we all depend on. With reliable connectivity, enhanced cybersecurity, advanced fiber solutions, and Wi-Fi backup, Comcast Business is powering the engine of modern business. Powering possibilities.
Now through May 4th, new customers can get started with 300 megabit internet and Security Edge for $69 a month for 24 months. And ask how to get free installation on qualifying bundles. Plus, find out how to get a $500 prepaid card on a qualifying gig bundle. Call today. Restrictions apply. Not available in all areas. Requires enrollment in paperless billing and automatic payments with bank account. Equipment, taxes, and other fees extra. After 24 months, regular rates apply.
Seems everything costs more these days. Gas, groceries, and when's the last time you checked your wireless bill? When it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Switch to Consumer Cellular and get your second month free for a limited time. You'll get the same fast, reliable nationwide coverage without the big wireless bill. Plans start at just $20 a month. Here's Veronica and Jackie, real customers.
I didn't know that I could get something for a lot less money that was actually better than who I was with before.
Anytime anybody complains about their cell phone bill, we say, you've got to check out Consumer Cellular.
And now for a limited time, new customers can get their second month free when they use promo code SECONDFREE. Just call, click, or bring us your bill and see how much you can save. Because when it comes to Big Wireless, if you're staying, you may be overpaying. Call 1-888-FREEDOM, visit a store near you, or consumercellular.com and use code SECONDFREE to get a free second month. Real people pay to share their opinions in this ad. Plans include $5 credit for auto pay and e-billing. Taxes, fees, and other third-party charges will apply. See website for additional details.
My name is Maximus Decimus Meridius, commander of the armies of the North, general of the Felix Legions, loyal servant to the true emperor, Marcus Aurelius.
What a great movie. Russell Crowe turned 61 years old today. He won an Oscar for his leading role in Gladiator. He's kind of let himself go recently. I don't blame him. Listen, he's had an amazing career. Do you think he watches Gladiator and then looks down at his belly and be like, oh, man, I gotta go start mowing some lawns or something to get back in shape. I love that movie so much. One other movie, birthday.
I like the third choice. I keep the disc, and I throw you both off.
Jackie Chan turned 71. I first became aware of Jackie Chan in Cannonball Run, which is one of my favorite movies of all time. So 2 big birthdays there on that front. Markets are down 639 right now. We'll continue to monitor the markets. Again, don't just wait until the end of the day, like the last 2 minutes of an NBA game. Hey, congrats to Stuart in Jonesboro. He won a pair of tickets to Andrea Bocelli, courtesy of the Mark Arum Show on 95.5 WSB. We'll be giving those away throughout the week here on the Mark Arum Show. One more, I want to get a local story before we go, Deborah. And this one involves a horse. What can you tell us?
This was distressing. A dead horse was left on a sidewalk downtown, just down the street from us on Peachtree. 911 calls were coming in around midnight on Sunday to report the animal, and some reports even mentioned people riding horses in that area. After an examination, authorities think the horse had a medical emergency, and fire and rescue were able to remove the animal Sunday morning, and they've also been able to locate the owner who is working with authorities.
Yeah, what the hell? Your horse dies? You don't do anything?
You just leave it there?
I mean, obviously it's a big horse, but don't you call somebody, the police? Hey, my horse just died on Peachtree Street. I'm going to need some help. I can't imagine losing a horse. Losing a dog was very stressful if your dog dies. But imagine, a horse. Oh, yeah. Anyway, sorry for the person, but even though you're in pain and distraught, you got to call someone. You can't just leave the horse hanging out there. Started the show giving you a weather update on Augusta National. It starts this week. This just breaking the last couple of minutes. Monday's practice round at the Masters has been suspended due to the weather. Augusta National announced at 11:30 a.m. that it evacuated the grounds. Unclear how long the practice round will be suspended and if patrons would be allowed back on the grounds later today. Imagine getting tickets for today for the practice round, and you're there for a couple hours, and then boom, you get evacuated. Then you're SOL. Empire Tickets, by the way, someone on Twitter told me that's where I bought the tickets for the Masters years ago in Buckhead. There used to be a place called Empire Tickets. That's where I got the tickets for the Masters. It's Masters Week. Enjoy to all who celebrate.
Longoria's Fact of the Day.
All right, today is National Coffee Cake Day, and the modern coffee cake is believed to have evolved from honey cakes baked in Northern and Central Europe during the 17th century.
Honey cakes?
Honey cakes.
Honey cakes.
It's Coffee Cake Day. I love a coffee cake.
Yeah. Drake's. Remember when I brought in Drake's coffee cakes?
Yeah.
So many of our coworkers never even heard of them before. They devoured those things. All right, good job, Longoria. Let's bang out some stars of the show and head to Texas Roadhouse because none of us have peanut allergies.
And now, are you guys ready for the Mark Arum?
First and foremost, my parents get a star of the show. celebrated their 54th anniversary yesterday. So happy anniversary to Ma and Pot Dukes. You get stars of the show. Vinny Bag of Donuts coming in strong today. Not only did an amazing job with the audio, but he brought us breakfast from Gutbusters on Cascade Road. Did you get any, Longoria?
I did not, no.
Oh, all right.
He
Anyway.
didn't bring me any.
No, shout out, Vinny.
Thanks.
Good job. Fantastic bacon, egg, and cheese, courtesy of Gutbusters on Cascade Road. Ashley Frasca gets a star of the show. John Decker, Linda Gradstein, Eric Erickson, Jennifer DeLuey from Bloomberg News, Stephen Portnoy, Maren Morris gets a star of the show. Yeah, music legend Maren Morris joined us. And the lady that booked Maren Morris, Deborah Green, gets a star of the show as well. All right, Eric's coming up next. Don't go anywhere. He's got a lot to say on all the breaking news. If I'm not mowing the lawn, will be social media active throughout the day at Mark Arum, MarkArum. Stay safe. Have a great Monday, Atlanta.